Welcome to the UK's first metal detection podcast. It's All Metal Mode UK with your host from across the pond, Mr. Michael Hare.
Hey everybody, this is Mike Hare, and you're listening to the All Metal Mode UK podcast. Tonight I've got Kris Rogers joining me. His YouTube channel is Addicted to Bleeps. If you want to watch some entertaining, I don't know how else to put entertaining fun, but you get so serious, Kris. I love it. He does some great videos, metal detecting videos. Check him out. I'm really embarrassed. We're starting about 5 minutes late because this big dummy was broadcasting on the wrong channel. I was, it happens. Hey, we're all human. Before we get started with Kris, if you have any suggestions for the show, would like to be a guest, or know someone who would like to be a guest, you can join All Metal Mode Podcast UK, or you can email me at allmetalmode@gmail.com. I would love some input. If you get a chance, join the group, email me, whatever. I need help. So there you have it. Kris, how you doing?
How the devil are you, sir?
I'm a hot mess, man.
I didn't get that in there on the first one, did I? So it's all worked out fine because I didn't get the how the devil are you in there. It's great, man.
I'm trying to figure out why there's no listeners, nothing. I'm like, something's not right here. What's going on?
People must really hate this guy.
Yeah, must not have many fans. Something's not right. Nobody likes me either. So
that's it. We could just cry together, mate. Nice to be here, man. Nice to be here.
I'm glad to have you. I really am. So let's jump into it. I'm excited to get talking to you. Like I said, when we started before, that we've really got some questions that I'm really excited for the answer. But before we get into that, let's talk about. Let's get some of the standard questions I ask. How long ago did you get started?
Okay, I'll answer this one again, yeah? Okay. Oh, no, what did I say? I forgot. Okay, just going back. All right, I've reminded myself now, Mike, so I can't... Okay, so I reminded myself about 10 minutes ago that the way that I got into metal detecting was, I think... What did I say? I think that it was something that I wanted to do as a child that kind of was in my head. There's loads of history around here and loads of places to go on adventures and castles and things. So I think it was kind of spawned from that. And I always thought, hey, you know what, metal detecting would be cool. That'd be something where you could find treasure and stuff like that. And then I turned into a 30-year-old. Actually, I had a child. I didn't actually have a child. My other half had a child. That would be weird. And then I just kind of hit some sort of midlife crisis. I didn't. That's a joke. I just kind of needed to get out of the house a little bit, and so I took up metal detecting. Yeah, and then twinned with that, I think when I started metal detecting, I started doing YouTube about the same time as well, because I thought, hey, this would be really, really funny to do some silly metal detecting videos, because everything was so straight and kind of serious back then on YouTube.
A little boring.
Yeah, that's it. And I couldn't really find anybody that was being a bit kind of snappy and a bit silly and a bit comedic almost. Everybody's doing it now, obviously. But yeah, that's pretty much how I got into it, I think. As I said to you before, it was either that or canoeing.
Yeah, right.
Just ended up metal detecting. Yeah,
I'd love to know how it was between canoeing. Well, canoeing's cool, and I don't know what it's like over there. No clue. I know here a lot of people get canoes or kayaks, and they go down the creeks and rivers and find all kinds of amazing stuff.
well, it's funny you say that because I got bored with metal detecting about 3 years after I started. I've been bought a canoe.
Oh, really?
I've got like it sounds like a kiddie thing, but it's not. It's a blow up canoe. It's got canvas around it, and it's lasted me. I go out in it. I don't go out in it that much. I go out in it a couple of times a year, I think. But yeah, it's in my head now. I'm thinking, hey, do you know what? If I can get like an underwater metal detector, because they exist now, or magnet fishing, go out in my canoe, and that'd be amazing. But yeah, you're right. People do it a lot in America. I think Aquachigga, Nugget, Noggin, those guys are always in the rivers.
Mm-hmm. Amazing what they find. I sell metal detectors here in the United States through Digger's Den, and Brian's in the water a lot. And I mentioned earlier Gypsy Jules that co-hosts with me on Monday night. She's a big time water hunter, and wow. she's right here in Texas with me and finds all kinds of cool stuff. Hey, I got to tell you real quick a couple things. I know a lot of people are new to this whole UK podcast and how it works. Whatever device you're on that you're listening through, if you'd like to jump in chat, look for the little chat bubble. It looks like a little cloud with a little V coming down out of it. It's really easy to find. But we have Andy Sampson in. Do you know of Andy Sampson?
I don't. Hello, Andy. I don't know who Andy Sampson.
Andy was my first guest last week, and I got to tell you, he set the bar high. And people even said that, Andy. You really were just an absolute great guest. Thank you for coming on. And
thanks for putting all that pressure on me, Andy.
Yeah. You better really make us laugh tonight, funny guy.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, no way. So that's cool.
So you got started. So you've been doing it a bit, and what kind of detector? What kind of equipment do you use?
Now, see, the first machine that I ever got was I did like the typical kind of like detector-ish thing, and that is I quite like the idea of metal detecting. I went straight on eBay and bought the cheapest blooming metal detector I could find.
I bet that worked out real good for you. That's why you got bored. There you go.
There you go. And it was some Chinese thing, and it was called like Treasure Hunter 2006871298B, I think. And it was like, cool, I'm going to find treasure. And it must have cost about 15 quid, £15, and it arrived. But I tell you, actually, Mike, right, so I go down to the beach with this thing, and it was a thing, by the way. It's a thing that like you could microwave food. Right? Swung it a couple of times, found a £1 coin, hooked.
Yeah.
And then that was it. I was done. And then I think it was my my girlfriend at the time. She said, perhaps we should get you a proper metal detector.
Right.
And that happened.
I just had a guy of kind of a funny story, and I'm not making fun of him. Please don't get me wrong. I'm not like that. But I had a guy contact me wanting to buy 2 detectors,
right.
2 sand scoops, 2 shovels, 2 hand diggers, and 2 pinpointers. And could I beat $250 for all of that?
Whoa.
And it's like, no, I cannot. So,
even for one would be pushing it.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. So I tell people all the time, stay away from that. Buy from the major brands. You can get into this hobby affordable, but buy something that doesn't have 52 numbers behind it. That's a good piece of advice.
And is written in just either English or some other kind of European language that is kind of like sustained, because you're not going to get on with Chinese if you don't know how to read it.
Right.
The diagrams are awful, trust me. I just got really lucky finding that poem coin.
Yeah. So that's really cool. A lot of people tend to buy cheap detectors, and they use them for a bit, and then they're just done. So I'm glad you found something with it and stayed in the hobby. I did the same thing. I mean, back then, because I've been at it over 20 years, we didn't have the internet like we do now and everything else. And I ended up with a bounty hunter that, I mean, it was pretty much worthless, and I thought, boy, if this is as good as the hobby gets, this isn't really my hobby. And I was actually out somewhere. I seen a dealer, and this was a few years later. I probably detected for a year the first time. I got out of it probably 2 years, and I found a good dealer and bought a good detector, and then no looking back.
Yeah, that's it. I think there's a lesson to be learned there as well for anybody that's like listening that potentially wants to get into the hobby. I think always buy from a branded make. Always. The reason that they've lasted for so long is because they're dependable. Basically, they've lasted the test of time. So always go for a brand make. And people still fall for it though, don't they, Mike? They still go for those like cheap eBay jobbies and just say, "Oh, metal detector is not for me." Well, it might be if you had a better machine.
You said you tend to talk a lot. You're going to learn I talk a lot too, because I got a funny story I got to tell you.
Okay.
I met a guy. I live in Texas now. I lived in Ohio at the time, and he contacted me. He'd been arrow hunting since he was a kid. He won a detector at a Christmas party, and he wanted to know how to use it and help, and got a hold of me, and we met, and he's probably 6 foot tall, and his detector was a kid's toy. I mean, like a $20 kid's toy.
Oh no!
And he would hunt with it. He would have to bend over so far that I couldn't help myself but laugh. I wasn't making fun of him, but good Lord, but let me tell you something. That guy taught me such a valuable lesson. He found some of the coolest iron artifacts I've ever seen with that $20, $40. He found a pistol barrel. Just some really cool. And I'm just like, wow, I've got this $1,500 detector that really doesn't like iron. And this guy is finding some amazing. That's what really got me into some iron artifacts after watching him. He found a hitch pin from the 1850s off of that would have been off of a train, and it was marked and stuff, and really cool. Some really cool horseshoes, and really funny. Hey, I've got to ask you, what's the deal with the metal detecting hobbit that tied a stick? Metal detecting hobbit tied to a stick to find metal. What's that about?
Oh, right. Okay, then. So that's not a hobbit. That's an imp.
An imp.
That's an imp. That's a book. That's a book of mine called The Secret of Flower Dawn, and it's about. It's all very kind of like. Have you heard of a guy called Terry Pratchett?
No, I haven't.
No. Okay. So he's like an author over here, and he does like fantasy comedy stuff. Okay. I think that you probably would have heard of the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. I think.
Yes.
Blackadder. That type of stuff. It's kind of like just like British comedy type thing, and I needed to write a book about a comedy book about metal detecting, and so I kind of like put it in this fantasy world where you tie imps to sticks, and then they're trained to find precious metals under the ground, but they're dubious fellows, and they're very, very grumpy. You have to feed them cake and that, and to make them happy. Otherwise, they won't get to the depth that you want them to. And if there's two together, then they argue, and it's. But yeah, I wrote that book, and it's complete. It's finished. The whole publishing thing, man, is difficult. It's just
yes.
I love this book. I'm really proud of it, and it's. I just want people to read it because it's really good.
I thought it was a joke, but actually that sounds really interesting. I thought there was some kind of joke behind that when Luke said that in chat. But I
wrote a book, and that's what it's about. Yeah, it's about
that is very interesting.
Two imps. Yeah. It's a Secret of Flower Dawn. It's my book that I wrote about metal detecting.
Oh, that's very cool. Hey, I've got a book I self-published.
Oh, cool. How did you self-publish? We probably shouldn't go into this now, but
it was just it was really kind of, actually it was on my hometown area kind of history and stuff like that. I sold some, I did it for the love of it, like I do this. I wasn't, I printed it myself and had somebody print it for me, a printer, and I actually sold more copies than I expected, but it was kind of cool. I can say I was I've also had a bunch of articles published in Metal Detecting magazine, so I've been published
cool.
with that. Yeah, and over 40. I'm not sure really where I'm at, but I love writing about metal detecting in history, so it's real easy for me. I suck as a writer. Don't misunderstand me, but
yeah, but if people find it informative and you enjoy it, then there's no reason to stop, is there? That's really, really cool. But yeah, I thought I might actually transpose that book to like a podcast or a YouTube podcast, and then do the whole thing spoken by myself so people can listen to it.
What about these ebooks? Have you thought about going that route?
I did, yeah, and I looked into it, and it was like it was kind of like overcomplicated the way that you had to set the book up. It was just a bit of a pain, man. And anything that's really kind of like over technical, my threshold isn't too high for it.
Right.
Yeah, so but I will look. I need to look into that. That's something I should push because I'm really proud of that book, and it's kind of like one of those things that you know I should do something with it. Really.
Well, what I would tell you is this. I was looking into doing the same thing. Somebody had told me, you don't even want to get a book published anymore. You want to do an ebook, and the person that told me had a friend that did a book, and it was a huge success, made a bunch of money off of it and stuff. But anyhow, they said it was a little difficult, but well worth it, and it gets the exposure. Everybody's using ebooks now, and they were glad they went that route. So you ought to think about that. I'll tell you what, you do it, let me know. I would buy it. That sounds like a really, really cool story. Yeah.
My first sale, there. You
right there. I'm telling you, I will do it. I'd love to read that. That sounds amazing.
I'm going to hold you to that. You know that,
absolutely, absolutely. Yeah. Now, Steph, my fiance, you will have to. I'll have to work on her. She kind of keeps the money. My wallet stays in her purse. But I
understand that arrangement very well.
Yeah, right.
Unfortunately.
So what kind of? We started off on what you kind of used in the beginning. What did you evolve to, and what do you use now?
So I evolved to a C-Scope 3MX. I don't know if you are aware of C-Scope.
I am.
You must.
Yes.
Of course you are. Of course you are. And the thing about them is that I went to a 3MX, found my first hammered coin, medieval hammered, which was like, whoa. So I was already addicted by blooming finding that pound coin on the beach. And then I found a hammered coins. That was it. I'm in it for life, And then I found some other bits and bobs with it, and I was really, really happy about it. So I was like, I love this machine. Did a bit of investigation on this company called C-Scope. They're just down the road from me. Yeah. I didn't know if they were British. I didn't know if they were American. I didn't know. And they were down the road from me. And I was like, this is weird. And then they contacted me and said, hey, we really like the videos that you've done on the C-Scope, on the 3MX. Do you want to do some videos on the other machines that we've got? And I went, yeah, cool. So I have this kind of like, I've only stuck with C-Scope now. So I use the C-Scope 6MX now. It's not a sponsorship. It's not an endorsement. We're just like friendly. I do videos. They're a company. I'm still open to anything else that anybody would want me to use. I'm playing with the GMP at the moment, the Gold Max Power.
Okay.
Just finding it kind of like just loves trash. But I know for a fact that it's got more depth than my C-Scope 6MX, so I think I need to kind of stick with it a little bit.
Yeah.
So yeah, right now I'm at the C-Scope 6MX, but I think that I'm ready for a kind of serious professional jump now. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's a good machine. It's done me well. I had it in 2012, so it's aged. And now you're looking at the Equinox, you're looking at the Deus, you're looking at the everything that Macro and Nocta are doing now is looking really good. And I think that perhaps technology's moved on, and I need to kind of move with it a little bit.
Yeah. I have a multi-cruiser, and I'll tell you, it's a great detector. Matter of fact, in chat right now, he just joined us, is Scott DeBay, and he's very really getting the hang of his as well. Matter of fact, he sent me a video the other day, how he uses the EUD function, which is the extra underground depth, and he can run that thing like 99 sensitivity with his EUD and not getting a bunch of chatter and stuff. Yeah, they're really really innovative.
I got lucky with because that's macro, isn't it?
Yes.
I got lucky on literally the Saturday just gone. I managed to do a video with Dialect, who runs the company, Macro, and she was talking to me. There's a video up on YouTube, and she was talking to me about all of the new products that they've got coming out. And these Macro are just pushing the boundaries at the moment of technology. So you've got the multi-cruiser, which is a fantastic machine, but they have this thing called the Averio, right? And it's £10,000 at the moment, which is a lot of money. It's not for hobbyists; it's for archaeologists. But what it does is it tracks things in real time on a screen, and it shows you the depth and it shows you the shape. It shows you exactly what it is on a screen, which is fascinating. And she said that in the next 3 years they've got the patent, and they're transposing that to hobbyist detectors. So in a few years' time, we're going to have these, and it's literally going to be a few years. We're going to have machines which are going to show us the actual shape and the actual depth of the thing that we're hunting. How crazy is that? I mean, that is amazing. That is so amazing.
I say what I say right now. They are by far the most innovative manufacturer out there right now.
Because they weren't. This has literally happened in the last 3-4 years, I think.
Yes.
You had your Mind Labs and your XPs, and then these guys have just come along and killed it.
Yeah. Now I will say there's a lot of good companies out there making some really good detectors. I just think for me, Macro Nocta is the most innovative. They're trying the hardest. I mean, it is unheard of. It's never been done, as far as I know, or in my 23 years of metal detecting, where a manufacturer says, we've got a multi-frequency detector that'll run run the frequencies simultaneously. We want your input on what you want to see in this detector. That's huge.
That's amazing, isn't it? That they actually reach out. And you know what the other thing is, which is really selling me on their detectors? They're really nice people.
Yes.
They've got great communication skills. They're sincere. They seem to really care about their customer. There's no kind of like shutting up shop. Their customer sales is brilliant. They're just they're willing to communicate. That's really refreshing as well in this day and age, I think.
Yeah, you're right. Absolutely. I've had a lot of what's the word I'm looking for? Interaction with the manufacturers, and I'm not going to say anything outright, but I've had really the best response from Macro Nocta.
Yeah.
Well,
I agree.
I'll tell you another one I really like, and I love their detectors. Really up and coming. Have you seen the Rudis Alder 71?
Oh, now these guys they're like they're the underdogs at the moment, aren't they? And
they are.
They had a teeny stall at Detectival. No one was really around it. But I've heard on the grapevine from a few people now that these guys are the ones to watch, type thing.
You know, I'll tell you what. This is just my personal opinion. I don't want to upset anybody or anything. I don't think you'll see a ton out of them, but what they have is they're not business people. But what he is, he's an engineer who's been fascinated with it all of his life, and he put everything into that detector that he wants for himself. So I don't think. Yes,
I didn't know that was the case.
Oh, yeah.
I thought it was a big corporate company.
No, it's the engineer. He owns it, runs it. Him and his wife. They've got a couple workers, but no.
Wow.
Luke Higgins runs one over there, and he loves it. I've got one here in the United States. Which it'll never make it to the United States because it's got 71 frequencies. And here in the United States, you gotta Luke actually explained this to me. He talked to Rudis. He says a new Rudis out in March. And I believe that might be a waterproof detector. Look, I love Macro Nocta. Man, I love them. I love what they're doing. But that multi-cruiser, I'm telling you what, that is a hot detector.
I've got a friend that's got that uses one. He's a YouTuber as well called Grim Bleeper, and I think he's doing pretty well out of it. And I only hear positive things from that. But going back to the Rufus guy, I mean, that's got to be commended, isn't it? That's got to be applauded.
Yes.
Someone that's taken a passion for something that he absolutely loves and has turned it into a machine, which is that's again something that should be supported within the community as well, I think.
I did a podcast with him, and although he speaks English very well, it was tough to get through because he doesn't understand it as good as he speaks it.
Where's he from?
They're from Poland.
Oh, okay.
Poland.
So
yep.
Right. Okay. Gotcha.
Now they are available in the UK. You can. I forget who distributes them there, but they are available. And if you ever get a chance, get one in your hands and try it. It's like a Deus in some ways, like lightning fast. It's got amazing depth, separation. It works.
I would love to use one of them because I'm always for the little guy. I'm always for the little guy. If I could use one of them and then support that in my videos, that would be amazing.
Right, they are amazing. And they are great people. Just him and his wife both. Like they message me now and then and stuff. Mostly her, she does, but I've talked to him a little bit. They are just really good people. He is passionate about the hobby. I mean, big time. I'll have to send you a link at some time if you're interested. I've done a podcast with him and also with Dalek.
Oh,
so
wow.
I've had episodes with both of them. And hey, real quick, I got to say something because we're getting way past it. But Scott Dubé said he loves your channel. You helped him get started. And they've got a really good channel too, wow. Scott and Kimmy Dubé. And it's
okay. I'll subscribe to him right now. Go on, tell me what it is.
Huntress Kimmy and Clodhopper Scott. They're kind of. I've had them as guests on my American podcast too, and we will have them on the UK one as well. Good people, really good people.
Huntress Kimmy and 1 second and there you go. Subscribe. I've subscribed. There you go.
Great
Fantastic.
people. Great. People.
And I've turned on my notifications as well, so I'll get a notification when they get there.
And Luke fixed me up. Detectors. I knew that. I just couldn't think of it. Thank you so much, Luke. Detectors carries the Rudis. But
okay. Gotcha.
Yep.
Something definitely worth. I would like to keep an eye on that in the future. I don't know anybody that uses it around here yet.
Yeah.
But as I said, you can hit that. I think we're quite a close community. I think even it doesn't matter what part of the world that we're all in. Right. If you're American, Poland, whatever, that community is still a community. It just goes past it's not a national thing, is it? So we're all hearing about this new machine at the same time, I think, and it's all spreading out into the field now, literally the field. So I'll speak to my friends and have you heard about this machine, this Rufus machine? And I'm like, yeah, I've heard. It's interesting. You should mention it as well because it's becoming more prominent.
Yeah, right now that's to me they've got the best. That Alder 71, and it's very affordable. I know you can get one here in the United States with shipping, which you can imagine the shipping here. You can get one for about $800.
That's not bad, is it?
And oh my God, you can adjust the tones to however you want. You could set it up 2-tone, 3-tone, 10-tone, all kinds of each individual. I talk about this so much, people are probably like, "Oh God, Mike's on his soapbox again." But
did you do a depth test?
Well, I'll tell you what. I don't have a garden per se. I know a lot of people. That's a big thing. I've got 3 dimes buried, and at stock sensitivity, I can hit a dime at 10 inches with it.
Wow.
Yes.
And that's with stock. Yes, that's out of the box.
That's out of the box. Out of
wow.
the box. Yep.
10 inches, and a dime is about the same size as I think it's about the same size as a 20p piece or something like that. I can't remember.
I'm not sure. They're small. They're very small.
Yeah, that's really good, isn't it?
Smaller
that's
than
really...
well, you found a quarter, correct?
I did.
Didn't I see that you found an American about half the size and about half as thin?
That was blooming surreal, by the way. I found it on the beach, like just down the road from me. What is this doing here? Where did this get here? And It was dated 1967, wasn't it? It was, or 1966, which is even weirder. And it was like the day it was dropped. Very strange. Okay, anyway, thank you for piquing my interest even more. I'm going to do some research and a lot more research into that machine.
Scotty Bay said a dime is the size of a halfpenny.
Right, okay, gotcha. Cheers, Scotty.
Yeah. So, yeah, anytime you want to talk detectors, I man, that's my passion. And but yeah, I think both, at least over here, Macro Nocta and is really an underdog. I mean, they're getting into a very tough. It's very hard to break into the United States. Rudis, I mean, they're not even. I know of 3 people here in the United States that have Rudis, and which is really a shame. But having to get it from the UK is kind of tough. But if you're over there, 100% at least give it a go. Give it a try.
So I'm guessing that the distribution is actually from the UK, not from Poland. So they're giving them to distributors, and then they're, that's a shame. You should be the distributor in America.
Well, I would love to. I told him I would, love to do that. The problem is the reason it's not here, there's 71 frequencies, which is crazy.
Oh, okay.
And here in the United States, they'll shut okay, X amount of people are on 14.2, so that's shut down. You can't even run anything else in the United States. So what has happened? There's different frequencies that they're running in this detector that they can't get it approved because that frequency is shut down in the United States.
I see.
Yeah.
I see.
So
right,
I hope they eventually are able to target the United States, because I'm telling you, his engineering skills are crazy. You know how a lot of detectors, the VDI goes up to 100, correct?
Yeah.
His goes to 120, and his explanation of it, for one, is really cool. But you take like the skipped my mind there. What's MindLab's new one?
Equinox,
yeah. You take that, and it's got 50 numbers, right?
Yeah.
And everybody's complaining about, the separation of targets. Like, let's say, that some coins and stuff, and, especially with jewelry and pop tabs and stuff like that. Well, like with that 120 VDI, things are separated real nice. Like it gives you a lot better. There's no bleeding into other.
I see. Yeah.
A pull tab is a way different number than a 14 karat women's gold ring, and a lot, a different kind of pull tab. They're all separated, so you kind of, once you learn your numbers and stuff, you can really start.
They've been so vague over the years, haven't they? Numbers.
Yes.
You're like, okay, so this portion, say 40 to 60 is this, and then 60 to 80 is perhaps this, but it's vague, isn't it? And it's tenuous, and it sounds like these guys are just more targeted. Is that the right word to use? It's
I think
more,
so.
Yeah, that's brilliant, isn't it? And going up to 120 is like turning your amp to 11, isn't it?
Right.
One more louder.
Mm-hmm. Right.
But I like the sound of this guy in Poland. He sounds like a mad professor.
He is.
Down in his dungeon. He sounds fantastic.
Yeah, exactly. That's how I imagine it. He's got like a dungeon. He's just working away and making all this cool stuff, man. Yeah, absolutely. That's funny. But
cool.
they're amazing. Right. And especially when there's I'll tell you what, I would put that up against a Deus any day, and it would give a Deus a run for its money.
That's interesting.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so go ahead.
Go on. Yeah, sorry. Go on. I was just about to say, what did you feel about the Equinox?
I haven't used one yet. I can tell you from not having one, I do not like the 50 VDI.
Okay.
You really, you know, guys here talking about pull tabs and rings and all that are real close, too close. They're bleeding into each other, so you can't really get any kind of separation. Even in the coin range, they're finding that.
That's not good, is it?
But over here, it's hugely popular. Guys are doing good with them. But you know, I'm just honest, and I say it the way it is. I feel like and I'd have to test them both side by side. I think that the multi-cruiser would just tear it up. I do. I think you're going to get better, at least get better numbers, a better idea of what you're going to dig, and I can't imagine it getting any deeper than the multi-cruiser because that thing is just crazy deep. I like the FE volume function. Here in the United States, relic hunting, you run into a lot of iron. And you can, with the FE volume, you can turn the volume down on the iron or even off. But you're still running wide open, and you're not hurting the detector. You're not slowing it down by discriminating or notching a bunch of stuff out.
Yeah.
So those things to me are really, really huge. I love the layout of it. I like, you know, the Equinox, you're only going to be able to get 2 aftermarket coils, and you can't even get them right now. It's a joke to try to get one. Macro Nocta, they announced it. They were shipped out. Within no time, there's 6 coils, aftermarket coils available for it, just by Macro Nocta.
Wow.
Yes, and you know, waterproof headphones and adapters to run the AA, the adapter to run the 4 AA's. It's got the adapter for the headphones if you want a 1/4-inch jack. Just everything. I mean, it's just amazing to me what that detector offers and for the price. And I just wrote an article this month about like my top 3 favorite detectors. And I put the multi-cruiser at top and the Rudis number 2. And that was really hard for me because the Rudis isn't waterproof. So it makes the multi-cruiser a little more versatile.
But the thing is that, I mean, that you can tell from your comment there, but that's how of a fine line it was between the two of them. Like the machine is waterproof or not waterproof, and that's how you had to make your decision. I mean, that's a tight decision, isn't it? Because normally you wouldn't think it's waterproof. Okay, that's cool. That's not waterproof. All right, it's not a biggie, you know. But it's obviously that there was so in your mind you loved them so much that it had to be, you know, it's paper thin like that. Is the reason you had to make your decision.
Yeah, and there's things like it was really hard because there's some things I like about. I mean, to me, they're very equal in ways. Because one has something I don't like as much as the other, but then the other one has, you know, like the tones on the Rudis are amazing. The ability to adjust those out to whatever you want is just an absolutely great feature. And I don't.
I mean, just going into like the science of it a little bit, because you obviously know a ton about like the mechanics and the engineering parts of metal detecting. I don't, Mike. I pick it up and off I go. I've kept up with what you've said so far, but you know, over that, it gets a bit vague for me. So you're talking about these tones, right? So could you effectively, if you just wanted to find, for example, gold, right? You just wanted to find gold. Could you set it up so it would only find you gold? Does that make sense?
Through the tones?
Yeah, through the tones. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. You could. What I would do, like, well, I mean, gold's tough because it's all over. You know what I mean? Like gold. I mean, it depends on the size and the carat. But let's say you took 20 different rings of various sizes, and you could make those all one tone or a high tone, and then you could make everything else on the screen that was of the 120 VDI points, you could make them a whole nother tone. Like you could take it all the way down to a grunt.
Right, okay.
Just like a coin, just, if you wanted to just find coins, it is a little bit easier because gold is spread so far. I mean, you take a man's big 20 karat gold ring, and that's going to come up almost like a silver coin. So it's hard to do that. But like if you just were looking for coins and stuff or something like that, you can modify that screen, the audio, just to whatever. It's 120 VDI. And you can make it 120 different tones. There's 120 different, or you can make, you can block them off. Like say, 0 to 20, I want the lowest tone. 20 to 40, I want just a little bit higher. This comes in here in the middle. I'm going to crank that up, and then I'm going to drop back down the next group of tones. I mean, it's just incredible.
I think that the most important thing here was like what you're talking about there is just customization, isn't it? Because normally you're so restrained in a metal detector, and it's like it almost kind of dictates to you what happens, which is fair enough, and it works like that. But it sounds like with this Brutus thing that you can just change it into what you want it to be. It's like sounds like a really personal metal detector, if that makes sense.
Yes.
And you can literally have your way of doing things on it. I find that quite fascinating, actually. I find that really interesting that you could just, change the tones like that and have it as to what you want it to be. That's cool. That's really cool.
Yeah, it's and that was another thing. Like the multi-cruiser, it's a performer. It's a real good performing detector. Don't get me wrong, but you don't have a lot of. I wish I could set up the tone profiles. I wish I could. I don't know. Like you can change the recovery speed on a Rutus and put two things on the ground, and you can make it sound like a shotgun, or I'm sorry, a machine gun. Just over two targets because it that thing is lightning fast. I mean, you don't want it that fast. But I'm saying, for example, there's such a range of speed and recovery. It's incredible.
See, that's really important to me, by the way, is recovery speed.
Oh,
because the fields over here were so just this. It's iron is you can't walk a step. And I actually tried this with a PI machine, and you can't walk a step without having an iron target. There's nails and there's blooming thousands of years of history, right? And it's a pain. So recovery speed to me, I'd actually rank it as high or up there with depth.
Yes, I agree.
Depth,
yeah.
You understand. It's
absolutely.
Really, really important.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. If you don't have recovery, then if you have a coin,
you're gonna miss targets.
Yeah, exactly. Absolutely. You're going to miss targets. Hey, I got to ask a few questions. I've got a few questions coming in.
Yeah, sure.
Luke says, Aaron, you have to come hit the UKDF fields, get out of the park for a day. Man, that wasn't for you. Who was that for? I'm sorry. I thought that was for you.
I thought he was saying it to you. But you should come over to Britain and come do some metal detecting. That'd be cool.
I hope to. Another question we had. I am sorry. I thought that was for you.
No, it's fine.
Then I read Aaron. I'm like, oh no, that ain't for you. Luke wants to know how did you build your YouTube channel?
So I don't think we spoke about it on this. It was the podcast that never was, wasn't it? Before we actually got
Hold on real quick. We're getting people in the chat and stuff. I don't know if you can get in, but
where can I see the chat? Tell me where I can see the chat. To answer that question though, I teach bass guitar on YouTube, and I've got 60,000 subscribers over there. So I already had like a firm understanding of how YouTube worked. I didn't have to learn it. So I just transposed everything that I had from the bass guitar channel to the metal detecting channel, and it just kind of like flowed by itself, really. But we're talking some years ago now, and it's kind of how do I word this as to not put people off? Because I don't want to put people off. I want them to do. It's kind of saturated at the moment, metal detecting channels, and I think it's important if I was to say to someone, how do you get into a YouTube channel? How do you start a YouTube channel? What to do about it? I think the most important thing is to have.
Don't do it.
No. Do it. Have a niche, right? And have something which is different. And the most important thing is be yourself. That is so important. And just have something. Try and kind of have something which is a little bit different. Do something which is slightly different, because we've all seen videos of people pointing cameras at holes and things like that, and for 45 minutes, as we spoke about earlier, Mike.
Right.
And also make it snappy. I think these days it's really important to make it snappy, which is kind of goes against the grain of metal detecting, because it's quite a slow hobby, which is one of the reasons we all love it. And I think it's important to make it videos snappy and not. Because people just want instant content these days. Bam, 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 bam. And
right.
That's the way I personally feel. I could go on about this particular subject for blooming hours. I hope it helps this guy in some way.
Well, it's hard to keep people's attention in this busy world, and you're right. It's saturated big time right now, and it's hard to get people's attention and keep it.
It's a really frustrating niche, metal detecting, because if I'm on my bass guitar channel and I'm teaching someone how to play a song of some sort, right? That's cool, because they're there to learn that song. With metal detecting, it's all of your coverage, all of your views are, unfortunately, and it is a cynical world we live in, it's fines based. So if you've got some metal detecting videos and you 3 or 4 in a row, you don't find anything, people just get bored. And it's so annoying, because I've got some of my best videos are where I don't find anything because I'm at my funniest. But then I stick up like my gold video, and it's like it gets 8,000-9,000 views within a week, and you're like, just because it's got a gold coin on it, isn't it? And that's kind of cynical. It's the world that we live in, and it's metal detecting. And it's unfortunate, and it's the truth. I'm being 100% honest with you. People are only really watching your videos to find to see the good stuff. That's why guys like Aquachigga and Nugget Noggin do so well, because they're so proficient in those rivers. They'll always have like iPhones, and their thumbnails are amazing. It's like 35 iPhones, 26 pairs of sunglasses, and like 7 GoPros. And people are going to watch that, So yeah, if you're going to start a metal detecting channel, just kind of be aware that people get bored easily. That's probably what I'm, in a roundabout way. I think that's what I'm trying to say. People get bored easily. We try and hold that attention by whatever means.
Yeah, I agree. I
do it through comedy. That's my thing. But other people do it through different.
Yeah. Well, I liked everything I seen about. I like how you can go from being funny as hell to really serious about the fines and stuff, and I think that's really cool. You just have a good time and fun, but when something's serious, and to kind of calm down. But
and I think it's important too as well. I think there's an element of respect. Is probably the right word. I think to these things that have been in the ground for thousands of years in some cases, and people that held these things, and the lifetimes they've gone through, and the things that they've kind of been a part of and seen. There's got to be an element of respect to that. It's history, isn't it? It's heritage, and you don't pick up a Bronze Age axe head and start lobbing it around and go like, oh look, I've got a Bronze Age axe head, how amazing. There's respect that goes with that. That's years old. Take care of it, you idiot.
Absolutely.
So yeah, absolutely. I mean, buttons and coins there, stuff like that is kind of silly, but other stuff. That's why I was so freaked out of that gold coin.
Oh, I bet. Hey, before we go on, you asked how to get into it. I don't know.
Oh yeah. I'm on my phone,
and you'll have to be careful so you don't bring in our audio on there. But if you go to,
I won't do that. I won't do that.
If you go to Spreaker.com, and then look up All Metal Mode UK.
Spreaker.com. Okay, I've got it.
And then
all metal modes.
Just search All Metal Mode UK.
Explore. All Metal Mode UK. Here we go. I just want to see the comments so I can answer the comments in real time.
Yeah, there's so many, and people are just talking about how you got them started and how much they like your show. There's some. I should have told you before the show, and I apologize for that.
Here it is. I've got it. Okay, here we go.
Good deal. Yeah.
Okay,
so
cool.
He is in chat now, guys. There you go.
I don't know if I'm in. Where do I see the? Oh, go on. No, carry on. I'll figure this out myself.
Oh no, go ahead if you got questions. I'm sorry.
I'm just trying to figure out where the chat is on the phone. Episode
look for the bubble. Click on the show that we're on now. You should see one that says live with your name.
Yeah, I've got it. Yep.
Click it up and then look at the bubble. There's a little bubble.
A little bubble. Where's the list? Where are you, fool? I can't see a little bubble.
Looks like a little cloud. What phone are you using?
iPhone 8. Where are you? Oh, here we go. There you go. Here we go. I've got it, dude.
All right. Good deal. Yeah, because people are just
a lot of comments there. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Cool.
They are coming in, and some really good things being said about you. So you might want to.
So blooming nice.
He said. Luke said at the bottom, fool. Yeah. Good.
Look at
times.
This. The Ginger Prince of Detecting. Cheers, Kevin. That's fantastic. I'm a Ginger Prince, man. Pink Kitty Cat says pink welly boots. Getting down and dirty, fully clothed. I'm not going to wear pink welly boots. Doesn't matter how much you're going to pay me. Aaron South Coast Detecting says, "Hey Chris, would you do TV again?" We could get into that in a minute, Mike.
Yes. Well, I've got some stuff I want to touch on first.
You, sorry, I'm reading these comments now.
No, that's okay. They are just rolling in, aren't they? Yeah, that's great. Okay. Something that I wanted to talk about. Your episode with the Morning Ring.
Oh, man.
First off, the fact that you went and buried that, man, I thought that was really cool. And I got to say, I would have probably had to do the same thing. I agree with that 100%. But my question, that you also found a gold coin that video.
That's right. And I'm still freaked out about it. I've got goosebumps. You just mentioned in the Morning Ring.
So I know sometimes days are clipped together and stuff. Shows are brought together from different days. Was that all one day?
Yeah. So, okay, I'm going to be 100% honest with you. I edited it slightly different to what it looked like, right? Because this is what happened in that video. So, I buried the Morning Ring. And then there's find, and I find the gold coin, right? Mm-hmm. Because what happened is that I buried the Morning Ring, and I filmed this, and I actually said a little prayer, and I'm kind of embarrassed about it, but I said just with respect, I hope you're okay. I hope you're at peace now. Here's the ring back, type thing, and then I said at the end of it, bring us a little bit of luck, will you? Right, and then it was literally 10 foot away from that I found the gold coin, and I had to edit it, so I put everything else in between it. So I thought people are not going to believe this. I had to get rid of the whole bit where I said the little prayer. I had to get rid of the whole bit when I said, "Will you bring me a little bit of luck?" Because I thought people would be like, "That is so weird that it can't be true." And it is absolutely true. And I chose not to put it in my video because I thought people would just be like, "Nah, man."
Well, you're gonna like this. Out. You're gonna like this question, then maybe, I don't know. We'll see. But this is so funny that you say that, because I don't want to get into religion or anything like that. But after doing that, returning that, and then finding a gold coin like that, do you think that there's a possibility a higher power is intervening or can enter? I mean, because man, that was my first thought, and I'm not a religious person. I'll put that out there. I'm not, but
I got
wow.
really freaked. I'm quite stoic, really. I'm just sharing this to my Addicted to Bleeps page. So I'm quite down to earth. I'm constantly and consistently on the fence concerning anything supernatural or anything godly, and
yes,
I would love for that, to be that stuff to be going on, but at the same time, you kind of, you kind of have to have one foot in the ground type thing and be serious about things and understand that sometimes things are coincidences in life, and they can happen to look like. Wow. I mean, when my nan died, I said, just if you're all right, give me a sign. I saw a shooting star in the sky. I was young, and now I'm older. I'm like, okay, let's look at it kind of objectively, almost. And I said to myself, right, okay, you said, okay, give me a sign. And then I saw a shooting star, but shooting stars happen all the time. So statistically, there's a statistical variant that. It could have been a coincidence, and then I was thinking the same thing with the morning ring and the coin, and there's so many weird factors in it that do you know what I mean? It kind of outweighs the fact that it can be that it's not a coincidence. There's the kind of like spiritual element. There's the element of the deceased. There's the element of the fact that it was a morning ring and putting it back, and then there was the prayer. And then there was the asking for, give us a little bit of luck, will you? And there's a few things there which kind of overpower the fact that it may be a coincidence. So I, with all my heart, I want to believe that is absolutely what happened. Something was listening and something went, here's a karmic value for being a good guy. That's lovely. That is lovely, and I wish that that would be the case. But you know what I mean. It's difficult, isn't it?
Yeah, but like I'm with you. I struggle with religion. I'm not.
Yeah,
I don't want to get into this on a metal detecting podcast. No, it's not. I'm not trying to. But man, that was wow. You returned that, and then. Almost
it's
rewarded
weird,
with something. Yeah.
It's so weird. And it freaks me out. It's like before we did the podcast, we started the podcast and you mentioned it and I literally got goosebumps just thinking about it. And then you mentioned it again and I got goosebumps again. When anybody ever mentions it to me, I'm like, whoa, because I'm still, my analytical head can't figure it out. Mm-hmm. Because your brain is an analytical, mechanical machine. And it can't figure it out. It's like, I don't know how this has happened. So maybe there's part of me that has to admit and say that perhaps there was some sort of, I don't know what word to use. I don't think a higher power is the right word to use, but and something was listening is probably the best way to say it. But it was freaky, wasn't it?
Yeah, to me, I mean, right away, it was just like it just makes you wonder if there's more to the world than we understand,
Absolutely.
And it doesn't have to be a higher power, whatever. But yeah, I don't know. I really struggle with all of that. When my dad passed, some really weird stuff happened, and my grandmother too. I mean, I believe in energies, and I think there's a possibility at least. I got a quick story I want to share with you. I think you'll appreciate this. And
can I just say quickly?
Yeah.
Kimberly said see what you give back, you get back in return, and she's kind of I think she's kind of nodding at karma there in a way, and that's been the prominent attitude towards me finding that coin after burying that ring. Sorry, I just wanted to mention that because she hit the nail on the head there.
Andy Sampson was my guest last week, and again, Andy, you were just absolutely fantastic. Thank you. He said Sutton Hoo treasure was found due to a medium saying she saw a Saxon warrior in full battle dress standing on the burial mound. Spooky or
Whoa.
what? That's amazing. I wish we would have. We're going to get Andy back on.
I would have legged it. I wouldn't have dug that. Imagine seeing a ghost on the burial mound. Bloody thing. I ain't putting my spade in there, mate. I'm going home.
About 5 years ago, I researched this place. And I'd found a foundation in the woods. And my very first time out there, have you ever been somewhere you just get the heebie-jeebies?
Yeah.
And it just feels weird. And I didn't stay long. I'm 6'3", 330 pounds. I'm not a little guy. I'm not,
No.
you know, and this place I didn't like how it felt, man.
Yeah.
It wasn't bad. It just felt like I was being watched. I went back I'd only go back with friends. I went back second, third, fourth time, I don't know. And I'm walking up the hill towards the foundation from a creek. And I get a hit, and the ground's really muddy. I dig something out, and I'm fishing through the dirt, pulling up little clods of mud. Really not dirt, mud. And I hit it, like I touch it. I finally get through the mud. I have no clue what I have, and it was like I was shocked. And I fell back on I'm on my knees. I fell back on my butt, my feet, my butt to my feet. And it
wasn't Loch Ness Monster, was it?
No. That would be way cool, though.
That'd be weird as well in America.
Yeah, a little bit strange coming up out of the creek in America. But I fell back on my feet. In a split second, I saw a kid running up a hill, chasing his dad, who was going off to war with a handful of other men. Now, they weren't wearing any military garb, but that's what I was told in a flash, and I seen it, and it really shook me up. And when I cleaned it off, it was a button, mid 1700s to late 1700s, in the shape of a cannon, like it was a cannon wheel with a little cannon protruding from it. Luke asked if it was LSD. No, it was not LSD. I was not drunk. I wasn't high.
That's crazy, isn't it? Can I tell you a similar story? And
absolutely,
it's spooky. And as we are nearing the Halloween period, so I was out on one of my fields, and it's exactly as you described. Just one of those freaky fields that you're on, and there's something just doesn't feel right in your gut. And you're like, man, this is weird. Okay, but the thing is that I'd moved. This field was like so long. It was in like a weird L shape, and it went about a mile and then a mile the other way. Okay. And I was on it for so long that the sun set, and the sun set, and I was stuck. And I thought, well, I've got to get back to the car. And by the time I walked halfway across the field, the sun had completely set, and it was dark. I was like, uh-oh. And everything got a little bit kind of, a bit like Scooby-Doo-ish, and a bit. Someone just mentioned that in the chat as well. It did.
Ruh-roh.
And I was like, okay, cool. Just get your head together, man. You just walk 1 mile across this field, you'll be fine. And the wind is, and just you're kind of like you're looking out for something, and the wind is going. You think it's whispering in your ears and things. Anyway, there's this slight hill that I had to go over to get to my car. I started going up this hill, and right at the top of this hill was a figure standing there looking at me.
Ugh.
Just a figure standing there, really straight, right? Just completely straight, just standing at me. And as it's got dark and it's still a bit of dusk and it's still a bit kind of orangey in the background, you just make out this figure. And I'm like, don't like that at all. And I needed to get back to the car, and I needed to pass the figure to get to the car. I couldn't go around it. I'm like, oh man, this is not cool. Anyway, so there's this bush. So I get in this bush, and I'm freaking out. And it was only a few years ago, and I'm like freaking out, going like, right, get your head together, man. Like, just walk past it. It's obviously some guy just having a laugh, just messing with your head. And then you're like, no, it could be like a beast, or no, it could be a ghost. It could be a ghost. And I'm like, no way I'm going to walk near a ghost, because it might try and take my soul or something, right? So I'm in this bush. Kind of like freaking out, going, whoa, what am I going to do? Anyway, I spent about 3 hours in this bush trying to get my head together, and I'm like, that's it. I'm just going to walk towards this thing, and then I'm just going to look at it in the face, and I'm going to say, what do you want from me? And I walk up this hill, and it's getting closer and closer and closer, and I'm like, oh, this is terrifying, this is horrible. It's getting closer, it's getting closer. I look at it, it was a fence post.
You let that poor fence post get the better of you, didn't you?
Oh my God! It was a fence post, man. It was like I was there for hours in that bush freaking out.
Now, what were you on?
Yeah,
what
sorry.
Were you, what were you on?
It's kind of related to your story. No, I was on paranoia. I was on absolute paranoia, man.
Oh, that is funny.
Yeah, there you go. So, what are these guys saying? Like, Kimberly finds that amusing, Scott finds that amusing. Okay. Yeah, sorry. Anyway, we've digressed again, Mike.
No, I love it. Hey, we're that's great. Yeah, I don't think anything like that's ever happened. I feel pretty at peace in nature and stuff. I don't really, other than a time I was at where an old town was along a river, and the town was washed away during the 1913 flood. And I'd walked back there with a friend. It's out in the middle of nowhere along this river. The closest road's over a mile. We hiked back there on a late winter day. It was beautiful, though, when we started. We get there, and the wind picks up, and it starts snowing so hard you couldn't hardly see. And out of nowhere, we're on a game trail. We'd walked right past the foundations of the town to see if there was anything else. And a guy walked right between us, brushed both of our arms, and just within 5 seconds, he disappeared behind trees and stuff. And we never said a word. And me and my friend just looked at each other like, wow, that was just weird. But, I don't know, man. Other than that, I've never really had many instances. I tell people, hey, I might be crazy. Maybe something happened that day, but I have found thousands and thousands of relics and coins, and that's the only time something like that's ever happened to me.
There's definitely stuff. There's definitely stuff going on out there that we don't yet understand, and I think that maybe sometimes. How do I describe this without sounding cheesy? I think that sometimes, perhaps, because we know that we're made up of energy, right? And the universe is energy, etc. And I think sometimes maybe metallic things can attract or keep. I don't know what I just think that there's stuff going on out there that we just have got no idea about, and it freaks you out when you're out in the field, man. You'll know when you're by yourself and you're out in the field. Okay, and it's getting a bit dark. It is freaky. You know?
Yes, yeah.
That's why I take loads and loads of toilet roll with me.
Right, just in case. Just in case. Yep, I'm with you. I got a problem. I got to keep it with me anyhow. I just got to keep it. Yeah. It don't have to be something that scares me or anything. But hey, Kimmy says she's got caught a ghost in one of her videos. Kimmy, can you please? If you got a moment, can you go out and grab that video and share the link in chat? I would love to see that.
You know what? I've caught something in one of my videos as well. I'll have to try and find that for you.
Really?
This weird kind of thing just kind of like moves across the screen, and it's really odd, kind of like almost like a smoky thing. It's really, really strange, actually. I'll have to find that, man. But that's there's stuff going on, isn't there? I don't think we'll fully understand it until we're in there with them.
Right, exactly. Here's something I wanted to talk to you about. So I watched several of your videos, okay, and seriously, I'm the type of guy I'd say, hey, your videos suck. I would, or I'm not into them. No, I wouldn't. I'm not like that. I guess I wouldn't say they suck.
Trust me, Mike. Many do.
No. But I would be the type of person to be like, it's just not for me, or I don't like it.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be rude about it. But I literally loved every one of your videos that I watched, and I watched several. And like I said, you're entertaining, you're funny, you get really serious when you find something and you talk about it. You're not just like goofy, and I loved it. Loved what you're about. But it blew me away that like your your morning ring and gold coin video. Okay, like that to me was just an amazing video. And there's 16 thumbs down. And I'm like, what the hell? Who thumbs down this video? Like, and why?
And the funniest thing about that is that I've never had that many thumbs down. I've got this brilliant find. I've got this brilliant kind of like esoteric chimerical experience with the universe or some ghost, and it's absolutely beautiful. It's perfect in every way. Yeah, and you get 16 thumbs. Unfortunately, mate, that's just the nature of YouTube.
My question is, there's a little more to the question. Like,
sorry.
No, that's okay. Share with me the good, bad, and I'm sure that there's even strange that has come from your YouTube videos.
Oh, what you mean that you mean from the people that follow them?
Yes.
Oh man, where do I start? We all know how. I mean, YouTube is effectively social media, and we know how insane social media can be. And you have that guy that asked me about, like, he said something like, any advice on setting up a YouTube channel, didn't he? Do you remember before? It was something like that. And I think that one of the most important things is, if you are going to be a YouTuber, is there's an element of you that has to be bulletproof, because it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter your intentions. It doesn't matter if you're funny. It doesn't matter if you're the best YouTuber in the world. It doesn't matter if you're perfect. People are going to hate you.
Yes.
You're going to get, it doesn't matter, and the most important thing is just not to take it personally. Because I did the bass guitar channel before I did the metal detecting channel, I already had that in good stead, and I still see metal detecting YouTubers that have a problem with it, and they can turn it, I'm not going to name any names, but it turns into a drama because of the comment section. It's just ignore it, man. I mean, yeah, it doesn't bother me. It's because I always know that, I think what you've got to remember is that you're going to there's people that enjoy it so much. So yeah, you get the odd comments, you get the crazy comments, but the worst comments were the death threats. I got a ton of death threats when I did.
Interesting.
Yeah, they were the funniest YouTubers. I put a clown hat on and I partied the night away when they came in. That was the Battlefield Recovery thing. That they all came in. So I've actually screenshotted them, and I'll share them sooner or later. I think I'm not going to go into it now, but yeah, some of them are pretty out there, man.
I can imagine. Now, like, have you had any questions that have come to you from your, like, that are just out there? Or, I mean, okay, death threats, that's pretty far out there. But I mean, have you had that email where you sit there and scratch your head and you're like, I don't, what's this person thinking? Or, and then like, have you met, I'm guessing because of your videos and the popularity, it's probably opened up some doors for you and met some really interesting people. And
yeah. So one comment, one thing, this email went backwards and forwards a little bit. It was a bit strange, and this guy was going on about depth, and I was going on. I didn't. He was trying to get around the idea of depth of metal detectors. He said, "How deep can you go before you can?" And it turns out this guy was a swimmer. And I was going backwards and forwards with emails, and I was like, what are you going on about, man? Okay, I understand you're going on about depth. And he's like, well, you're a swimmer, you're a championship swimmer. I was like, no, I'm not, I'm a metal detectorist. And it's like, this bizarre, like, just kind of went backwards and forwards. It always starts saying, I'm a big fan of yours, and I've been watching your YouTube videos for ages, and just wondering how you get the depth that you get. Like, yeah. Well, yeah, just I use this metal detector, and he's like, what? And I'm like, what? But it's like, no, what do you get in the pool? I'm like, what pool, man?
What pool?
Like, no, the metal detector. Yeah, so that was cool. That only happened a couple of weeks ago. I thought that was one of my mates taking the mickey, but this guy was legit.
So how did that get so mixed up?
Oh, I don't know. It was just when you kind of flippantly read something and answer. I think it was probably all me, to be honest with you. And what was the second part of your question? other interesting people.
Yeah,
Was it?
I like has it opened doors to meet some interesting people or fellow hunters? I mean, have you through your YouTube channel have you met people?
Yeah. Um, so I met recently at a weekend. I went to Detectors, so I got to meet I Detect. I got to meet Digger Dawn. I got to meet Nugget Noggin, and I got to meet Terra Hollandia. All lovely guys. Really liked them all. Especially Nugget Noggin. Actually, he's got like a presence about him. He's just a really positive, nice soul, and you can tell.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes you resonate with somebody, and you're like, I like you. You're a cool guy. I can trust you. I like you, and he has that about him. I don't know where he is in America, but he's from over there somewhere. Deep Digger Dan. I don't know if you've heard of him. He's another British metal detectorist.
Yes.
He's become a friend. He's a really, really nice guy. But the most entertaining metal detectorist is a guy who detects with us called Millie. I mean, his name's funny straight away because that's a girl's name.
Right.
And he's like, oh, how do I describe him? I don't know how to transpose. In this country, we have this old character back in the 70s and 80s, a kids' TV show called Cat Weasel. And he's like him. He's got a big beard, and he is just out there. He's like he lives on another planet. He's amazing. I could do a whole YouTube channel with Millie just going round watching his day because
Really?
he's so funny without trying to be funny. He's naturally just hilarious. He lives in a caravan. I think he's got like one shoe. No, he's got two shoes. No, I can't remember. He, does his trousers up with rope. Doesn't care if he's got two shoes that are completely different shoes. They're shoes. They work as shoes, right? And the guy's, he's brilliant, man. And he's lovely. He did me this picture 2 videos ago. If you watch, you'll see it. He's in the video, and it's just this. He just did this drawing, and it said like, addicted to bleeps, great metal detecting channel, and he put it in this frame, and the frame's like smashed up. It's like got glass and stuff hanging out of it, and that just kind of like sums him up. It's like this lovely sentiment. Just it doesn't matter that it's all kind of trashed and broken. And I really cherish that picture actually. So I'm going to get him. People are really into Millie on my videos, and I've got to get him in more of my videos because he is brilliant.
Hey, real quick, have you ever met Luke Higgins, archmdmag.com? There's him and Dave Sadler are just great people, great friends, love them.
I met them on Saturday. Right?
Have you ever seen Luke's wife?
No. Where's this conversation going?
You'll see. Luke's wife is just stunning, beautiful. Okay, she is.
Yeah.
And she wants to know, have you ever had naked pictures sent to you?
Through metal detecting? No.
Yeah.
Through my bass guitar channel, my rock and roll bass guitar channel, yes, unfortunately.
Oh, I need to learn to play. But will you teach me to play bass?
What? So you can send like dodgy pictures to me?
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Is that the only reason you want to play bass?
Maybe. Yeah.
So yeah, on the bass channel, yeah, and I was in a band for a long time, and it was quite a successful band, and so that happened then, just in the advent of mobile phones and picture phones and stuff. Yeah, so yeah, I have, but metal detecting, never. Thank God. Thank God, because that would be horrific.
Right. No, not for me. I matter of fact, I replied and I said, I don't do this, and this is absolutely true. I don't do this to get known. I love talking metal detecting and talking to people, and it's opened up doors for me. Like Luke,
hold on.
I met Luke Higgins.
1 second, mate. One second, Mike. Dave Sadler's just said, "Do you want some, Chris?" Dave, no. I met Dave on Saturday. Trust me, the answer to that question is no. Nothing personal, old chap. But you keep them to yourself.
If you If you make them sexy, I want to see some naked pictures, Dave. Like, I want your hands on your hips and your butt pushed out, rubbing your belly.
Do not put them in this chat, Dave. I've just had my dinner.
But yeah, I feel like if, although I don't do this for any other reason, and I love the hobby, but if any ladies or men want to send me naked pictures, I will feel like I had made it. Then I've made it when I start getting some naked pictures.
That almost had an air of desperation about it.
Little bit. No, not true. I am very fortunate. My girl is beautiful, and I'm totally in love, and I'm only kidding. And I got to say all this.
He's trying to dig himself out of a hole now.
Well,
isn't he?
she might be listening, so I've got to be really careful of what I say. But I'm just going to say I do have my email out there. So,
okay.
Not really. Please,
where this conversation.
Yeah. Please don't get me in trouble. Please don't send me any dirty pictures and get me in trouble. Please don't. I'm only playing. Yeah. So another thing, one of your videos I seen, you talked about responsibility in the hobby, and I would really like for you to take a minute to go into that, if you don't mind.
Have we literally just gone from naked pictures to responsibility in the hobby?
We can go right back to naked pictures if you'd like.
That is no. Let's just stay out of that because Dave's still in the chat. Okay. Context. What do you mean? How do you mean responsibility? Do you mean just about documenting your finds, or
yes, the taking care? Well, let me. I loved what you had to say, because I hate when people go out metal detecting. They put all this research in, they find this stuff, and they throw it in an old cigar box. Take care of it, display it, be proud of it. If you're not, return it, give it to somebody who will, or donate it to the homeowner if they're into the history, that kind of thing.
I think this almost comes back to the gold coin and morning ring discussion again.
Yes.
For me personally, there is an element of there's lots and lots of levels of respect from me personally for different reasons. But one of those is that someone owned that, and like, even if it's a button or it's whatever, it's kind of like a personal thing almost to me. But coins a little less so, because they were handed around between many people. But you find an artifact or something, or a bit of clothing, or you got to take it seriously, and you got to respect it. And I think that comes back down to that kind of like karmic idea as well. And you don't go messing with dead people's stuff. Don't take the mickey out of it. Don't. I mean, I joke about things. I do joke about things, but there's always a context within it.
Yes.
And it's never. It's never joking about a person. It's always about something silly. And something that looks like something which obviously it isn't. And I think that's the context is really, really important. But it's not only respect to the people that owned it. There's also respect to your heritage. There's also respect to your history. There's all it has to be respected. It's important, and we're still learning from it. We're still understanding what's happened. So there's that element as well. And then there's just general respect, that kind of like how calm thing. Just don't. I never feel good when people. It's the same type of people that are just in it for the silver and gold. Mm-hmm. They never last long in the hobby, Mike. They're never there for long, and they're just lobbing stuff in the bin and. Oh man, really? Come on! But at the same time, this blooming stuff does begin to build up. By the way,
yes, it does.
I've only got the room in my house is finite, and it is beginning to get taken up. So I've actually got to start trying to think of creative ways of getting rid of stuff. I think I might just give it away to people that, as you said, care about it.
I'm a little scared. I just got a message on my phone. I looked over, and I've got a picture from Dave.
I don't want to see that. I don't want to see that.
That's funny.
If you want me to send you some stuff, Mike? I can give you some coins and things and buttons if you'd like.
I'll be real honest with you. I love history and everything else, and I would love that. I'm not going to lie that coming from the UK, it would be such an honor. But in general, I have to find it for myself. You know what I mean? But I would no. But at the same time, I would love something. That would be real.
How about hammered coin? I'll send you a hammered coin.
I would just be thrilled to death. I really would.
I've sent.
Yes.
I've sent. I don't talk about this ever, but I've sent quite a bit of stuff around to people. I don't like talking about it because it's like, oh look, I've given my stuff away. But this is literally the first time I've spoken about it, and it's normally to my American friends that are really interested in what I find. I give out hammered coins every now and again, and some people are interested in a specific thing. So Joe, Joe Brown, the last guy I sent to, he's in Texas as well, actually, coincidentally.
Very cool.
He really wanted to ship halfpenny, so I sent him that, and I sent him a bunch of other stuff. My reasoning is that we're kind of split between this whole nationalistic thing. You're an American and I'm a Brit, but to me, this is your history as well. Well, it is, isn't it? Because like if you're a white American, then you're probably a European. You're of a European descent, and there's a damn good chance that you are British or you're Irish or you're Scottish. You know, there's a really big chance. So to me, this is your heritage and your history. I mean, America's such a young country, and you know, we know about the migration, and so to me, it's something that belongs to you as well. So that's why I like sharing things with my American friends.
I'll tell you what, I would put them in a little display, and anytime anybody asked, I would tell them about you and having. I would love. Then I could go into the story of how I met you and stuff. I would love that.
Yeah. Okay. Make sure you give me your address, and I'll send you some stuff out.
I sure will. That is. I appreciate that. That's really cool, and that's like I said. Usually I have to find it myself, but coming from you and from the UK, I would love that. I would definitely take care of it and display it and tell our story.
Not having my bloody gold coin, no, that's mine.
No, yeah. No, I wouldn't expect that. That would be quite rude, wouldn't it? Hey, send me your gold coin.
Yeah, it'd be kind of freaky if I did as well, wouldn't it? This guy's stupid, or what does he want?
Yeah, I would suspect I would get naked pictures before I got that, because I couldn't give up a gold coin for anything. I mean, if you're going to send me a gold coin, we're going to have to question this relationship.
Yeah, exactly. It would be. It's a bit out there, isn't it? It's like naked pictures for a year for that one.
Kimberly wants an Indian penny. I can make that happen, Kimberly. I have.
What? Tell me what this is.
Indian head pennies are just probably the coolest penny. One of the coolest pennies ever made. There's an Indian head on one side and then like a wreath on the other. They were from like 1858 or 59 to like early 1900s.
Is it silver? Is it
no,
bronze?
They're copper.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah,
that's cool.
Yeah.
So, yeah. See, she's saying that she will swap for a UK coin. You should take that offer.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And I don't know. Maybe I have something in my collection that you would like. Maybe we could do a little swap. I could send you some American coins or something. Or
absolutely. Mate. I've downed, what's that? 3 cans of beer. I desperately need a wee. Can I just have like a 10-second wee break?
Absolutely. Go take off. Hey, perfect. Actually, hey, you know what? Take your time. I've got to run a little ad real quick. So I'm going to mute you until we're done. So take a break.
All right. See you in a second.
All right.
The Archaeology and Metal Detecting magazine acts as a hub for information, offering articles from archaeologists, detectorists and other specialists throughout the genre, featuring many links, event info and news articles associated to archaeology and metal detecting. We also offer professional review services and promotion for books, resources, videos, documentaries, gadgets, equipment and much more. The magazine is run by the archaeological and metal detecting community for the archaeological and metal detecting community. So come visit us at archmdmag.com, that's archmdmag.com, and check out information from our media section with all the latest content, news from the Archaeology channel, podcast, and the YouTube channels that feature the now legendary Digger Dawn, the Man with the Hat, and Archeo Duck, just to name a few. If you would like to offer an article, link, or inquire about other services, then pay us a visit at archmdmag.com and drop us a line.
All right, we're back. Thanks for staying with us. And while he is gone, there's a few things I want to say. Kat, I'm sorry. I'm trying to do the show and talk to him. It's hard for me to keep up. But look, get a hold of me and we can talk. Oh, right. Hold on one second. I'm in the middle of something. Kat, email me. I'll give you out my number real quick if you want to call sometime. I think I can give you some advice that might help because I am here in the United States. But my email is allmetalmode@gmail.com. If you want to call me sometime, my number is 937-414-4578, and I would be more than happy to help you any way I can. I've never hunted in Tennessee. It is a big goal of mine someday. So,
have you run the advert?
Yeah, we ran it. We're good.
So when I just come back and said the lizard is drained, everybody heard that.
No, I actually had your volume down.
I was lucky I didn't just repeat myself then.
Scott just said Mike can talk, so get ready, Kat. I can. I love talking metal detecting. Usually people, when I get on the phone talking about metal detecting, it usually goes until they're like, yeah, I got to get off of here. No, really, Mike, I got to go. And it's hard to get me to quit talking about metal detecting. And I love it. And I want to say, new show here, and I'm not going to fill it with ads, but Luke and Dave have helped me so much. But besides that, I love archmdmag.com. I honestly, I usually go through Facebook. But they put some great articles and stuff out there. They doing great, cool things. So it's an honor to run that. And Scotty Bay said, "Drain the lizard." Yeah. Yeah,
I did. Who said that? I didn't say that. It was Luke. Yeah, I only got to meet Luke briefly on Saturday. It was really brief because I was so busy, and he was obviously quite busy as well. And Dave as well. I only kind of like got to meet him under the with a camera, So it's not really meeting someone, is it? So it'd be nice to meet those guys again at some point in the future. I think I quite like them.
Yeah, good guys.
I think Dave's face when I think he thought there was an element of me that was taking the mickey. I thought he was like, when I looked at the edit and I was editing it, just the way he was looking at it was like, this guy's taking the PISS. I wasn't. That's just how I am when I do my videos.
That's funny.
This is the fried chicken. That's Dave. Yeah, that's what he shouted in. What was the up? No, don't repeat it, Dave. It was something about the hard of hearing, and my ears are still ringing now.
That's funny. I got a kind of a funny story. Like, I've really gotten to know Luke. We talk quite a bit, and he has helped me out tremendously. Just this show wouldn't be possible without him. I mean, quite honestly, and without ArchMD Mag. So, and he's just such a genuine good guy, passionate about the hobby and stuff. Love him. I mean, we talk quite often, but I haven't had much interaction with Dave. A little bit, but I got to tell you something. They set me up last Sunday for Detective All, and it's like, hey, if we can do it at like noon, you can talk to Dave, and we might have a couple people for you. First off, Dave was on it, man. If you've been on the show with me right now, I stumble. You get a lot of ums and like Dave is such a natural for it. I was blown away at how good he was at it. But then, all I knew is I was going to talk to a couple people. Well, I ended up talking to KG and Ringy and Dealick and I told you I can't remember his name off the top. Harry. Who else did I talk to?
Not me.
Gary Blackwell. Yeah, no, I didn't get to talk to you. You were gone. I heard you got drunk and had to leave or something.
I had enough. I fell into a river. But, no, I didn't. I just found, I just had to go home because it was exhausting. All of the selfies.
I can imagine. Yeah, I hope to make it next year. I've got a baby. I've got a 7-month-old baby, and that's
it's difficult. And you're in America as well. You try though. If there's an opportunity that does arise, you should, because you're obviously going to be quite well supported when you come over here. You're going to have plenty of field to detect. I'll tell you that, mate.
Right, and that's just to find a piece of history that you guys. I love hunt metal detecting in the United States. Don't get me wrong. Julian was. Oh goodness, man, that guy is. I got to get him on the podcast. Hey,
look, hold on, wait a second. Who was that? Where's it gone? I've blooming lost it now. Oh no, I've messed this right up. Where's it gone? Where's the comments? I forgot what I clicked on for the comments. Anyway, someone just put my my website up.
Yes, addictedtobleeps.com.
Yeah, it's only been up a week. It's only been in existence for a week.
I've got to check it out. What do you got on there? Tell us about it.
It's funny. I'm so naughty, man. I'm so naughty. But
I got to check it out now.
Okay. Have a quick check and just tell me what you think the first picture is. How do I get back on the comments? I can't find the comments.
The chat bubble. Look for the bubble.
Here we go. I've got it. Right. Okay. So Scott, there you go. It's Scott. Scott's done it. Right. So he's done addictedbleeps.com. Now I do art and I do I graphic design and stuff, right? So I created that picture. Do you know who that is? You won't. I bet you don't.
No.
Any British person will know exactly who that picture is, and that's Baldrick from Blackadder, right? Hey, Dialec's here. Hello, Dialec. Lovely girl. Anyway, so that's Baldrick from Blackadder, right? And the guy that plays Baldrick is an anti-metal detectorist. He was in a show called Time Team, and his name is my God, what's his name? I forgot what his name is now. Oh my God, Tony Robinson, right? Who I was a massive fan of, and I'm still a massive fan of. I love Baldrick, but he's anti-metal detectoring. He hates metal detectoring. So I drew a picture of him and his most famous character with a metal detector.
That is awesome. No, I love it. I love the layout of your website too. It's very well.
Thanks, man. Thanks.
It's great. Yeah, I'm.
Yeah,
bookmarking it now. Bookmarking it now. So, yeah, check out. And then Kimmy also said your Facebook group is addicted to Bleeps as well.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. So check that out. Check him out. But yeah, you're all over social media.
Join
got your own website.
On,
wow, you're all professional.
I'm a man of the modern age.
Right. Love it. Good deal.
Probably not really.
I know you're fun. I'm sure enjoying this. And we're at. Let me see how long we've been on this. You guys guessed how long we've been going at this?
About an hour and 45 minutes.
There you go. A little bit
more entertaining than Andy, though.
I'm not going to answer that. I'm not even going to go there.
Come on.
All I would say is I would happily have either one of you back at any time.
We demand you rank us out of 10. I'm not joking, man. Don't do that. That'd be horrible.
No, I can't do that. I'm not going to go there. But no, Andy was a lot of fun. And
yeah, cool.
I'll tell the listeners, if you missed the show last week, you can always go back and look. It'll be out there for a long time, and you can listen to the show with Andy. I was very happy. He was just really good and had some really good...
Dialect's completely missed the whole Nocta macro discussion that we've had. You've come in. We're disappointed in you, Dialect. You've come in way too late. We've already talked about you.
Right? We done discussed macro Nocta and talked you up and
really deep. Went into that very deep. We could talk about it again if you want, but I don't know. Things are getting a bit squiffy over here. What's the next question?
From me or the man? They are just rolling out in the chat here.
Dialect says, "What did you say?" Did she know that it was me that did the video? Dialect, do you know that it was me that did the video for you the other day? Oh, I don't know. It's all good, all very, very positive. You can ask me a question, Mike.
Dealic,
you haven't got any left, have you?
Real quick, we don't know. I do have some left. Dealic, we said that you guys are the most innovative company out there when it comes to metal detectors. To sum it up, that's what we said. And it's quite an honor to have you. He said right now. That could change. You better keep going.
Until I start my own metal detecting company, and then you're going to be in trouble.
Oh, is that going to be what'd you call it? A nymph on a stick?
Can I answer this? Kimberly has said, my question was, now you found a gold coin, what's your next target? Bless her heart, because she has been trying to get that question across.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Kim.
The gold coin, my next target would be a stater, which is a Celtic gold coin, but the workmanship on them is amazing. So we're talking 2,000 years old, these coins. Beautiful things, just absolutely gorgeous. So that would be my next is a stater. Andy said, how well do you think you have done, Chris? I would say that's at least a 9.5 out of 10, Andy.
I think when somebody you find this often in the hobby, when you find something spectacular, people say, what's next? And when you have a love for history, it doesn't matter what's next. As long as, I've found some valuable stuff, and I can tell you not one valuable find makes it in my top 10 favorite finds. I love them. I'm not going to lie. I mean, I found a 1916D Mercury dime, which is the rarest Mercury dime. It's one of the most sought after. I'll tell you, it meant so little to me that I sold it and took the money. Now, keep in mind that's the only thing I've ever sold, but it just didn't have. It's like, oh, another Mercury dime. Hey, I can sell this for $3,000 and put it back into my business. It didn't mean that much to me.
I don't think that the gold coin would have mattered to me as much, the one that I just found, the guinea, if the mourning ring hadn't been buried previously. If it was just a gold ring and I hadn't buried the mourning ring, right? A gold coin and I hadn't buried the mourning ring, I don't think it would be as relevant. It'd just be like, it's a gold coin. Okay, it's cool, it's great, it's a gold coin, it's fantastic. But what makes it more personal is the experience. And I think that's what you're kind of alluding to there slightly, is sometimes you can find things which have an experience around them, which are like, wow, you can go out for a perfect day metal detecting. It's a beautiful sunny day and you can have great company and you have the best time of your life. And you can find little, but it kind of solidifies that it doesn't matter that you've only found little, because it's the day around it, which is like the memory almost. You can go find something absolutely amazing, but you could have a pig horrible day around it, and then it's not really that much of an amazing find, is it? Does that make sense?
Yeah, I agree with you 100%. And although that's I'm with you. I agree. Like, okay, we can't deny, nobody could deny finding a gold coin wouldn't be cool, but the fact on what day you found it and that's amazing. That makes that story so incredible. Hey, real quick, if you don't mind, I want to do something. I hope I don't get in trouble for this.
I've got time, by the way, Mike. I don't have to go to bed yet or anything.
Well, Dealic is listening, and I want to say this. She did a podcast episode with me months back, and I'm going to put her right on the spot. She said, I asked her to be a guest again, and she said, let me get through Detectable and stuff out there, get some stuff going. Well, it is that time, so I'm putting you on the spot while everybody's listening. We need to do a podcast soon when you get some time.
Yeah, she can't even figure out how to blooming read here. Look, my God, I have to practice more of this live chat, trying to read, answer, listen, and remember who is who. That's going to go straight over her head, mate. I'll tell you that now.
Right.
She can't even figure out the chat. Just, I think you should probably email her a little bit later.
Right.
Going back to, you pronounce it D-leg. I pronounce it dileg. I'm not entirely sure which one's right.
I pronounce it. I really struggle. I say dialect, but it is D-leg.
D-leg.
Yeah.
See, I'm gonna get it completely mixed up.
I think she hates me a little bit because every time we talk, I'm like, "Hi, dialect," and she's like, "D-leg."
Oh,
she's a sweetheart about it, but I can tell, like, I can imagine somebody saying my name wrong every time. It would probably hurt my feeling.
Mike, if you really truly wanted to put D-leg on the spot right now, you should ask her, okay, when will the technology in the Averio be available to hobbyists? Did you hear that, D-leg?
I think that's a great question.
Give us a time frame. That is what we want to know. The Averio, it's an amazing machine. It's the £10,000 one I was talking about, which can show you the depth of items. It's used for like professionals. When will that be transposed to hobbyists like us? There you go. She's just put yes. That's not an answer, is it? Let's be honest. That's not an answer. Hello, Jet Ski John. How you doing, mate? There you go. And the answer is, come on, D-leg. We're all waiting for her answer on Tenterhooks.
Yeah, she
just logs off now. That is the ultimate goal. Good. And that's really, because I personally feel, like I said to you discussing earlier, that is the way that metal detecting is moving. That's its eventual place, I think, that we have a more visual thing, which isn't just beeps, which isn't just numbers, which isn't just, these kind of things that we've had for the last 20, 30, 40 years in metal detecting. It's something absolutely visual, and it's just way more involved. And I think that has got to be the way that it's moving. I don't think that, you had Mind Lab that were kind of... I thought that Mind Lab patented something like that ages ago, but obviously not, because we haven't seen anything since. And we're still using similar machines with Mind Lab. The Equinox, the 3030, effectively they beep. What Macro are doing is out there. It's cool.
You know what speaks volumes to me?
Go on.
Delic is in the chat right now, answering questions, talking to us. What other manufacturer would ever do that? Do you? Yeah. I'm on a prospector. I'm trying to think of the name of it. I got it confused. I'm on a forum, and let me look it up real quick. I just seen her in there responding to questions and kind of putting out there some information about Detectable. What other manufacturer do you see doing that? We
spoke about this earlier, didn't we?
Yeah.
Ken King says, "Hello, Chris. How the devil are you, sir?"
She was on DetectorProspector.com, which is one of my favorite forums. I really like Steve Hirschbeck. He's a very knowledgeable detectorist, very technical guy. And, she said I should be in bed answering emails, checking Facebook, et cetera, et cetera. They care. And when I did a podcast episode with her, you can hear that passion in her voice. And that's so important. I mean, Sorry. No, go ahead. Good. I'm sorry.
Basically, just going back to what you were saying now about passion. When I was doing the Detectable video, and I was going around to all of the brands, and I was saying like, okay, tell me what's exciting about your machine, or give me some information. And it was like, it's great, it's good, it does this, it does that, and I got to D-leg, right, and she wouldn't shut up. It was brilliant. It was like, we have this machine, we have this machine, and we have this machine. And it was like, yes, great, okay, finally. And you can actually feel and hear the sincere passion there, if that makes sense. It's not just like the old routine, this machine does this, and it gets to this depth, and it's great, and it's like so dull because it's their job. and it's droll and it's like so boring. She actually has a sincere passion for her product. And when someone has a sincere passion for the product, it makes you want to be involved with it a lot more.
Right, exactly. And their determination, their I like, we've talked about this, but yeah, I just to me it just speaks volume. She's sitting in our chat,
Yeah, it does.
talking, and she's just such an approachable, friendly. She's taken the time out of her day to call me at times and talk to me, and I know she is crazy busy, and I think
that sums it all up. And I think that metal detectorists as well were quite loyal, honourable people. Were kind of there is a loyalty and an honour that comes with metal detecting. There's a massive trust element and stuff. And I think we appreciate people. We're very down to earth people, literally. And I think we appreciate people who are honest, and are kind of. What do we say over here in Britain? Salt of the earth, we call them here, which are like real people. I think metal detectorists are quite cynical when it comes to corporations, the big sale, the multi-millionaire. The Mind Lab, for example, do brilliant machines. You can't talk to them. Okay, you wouldn't see them in a discussion like this. You wouldn't see them being involved, talking and chatting to metal detectorists so much. That's refreshing. Yeah, that's really, really is quite refreshing. Actually, that's good. Good on her. Good on her. And it's only gonna help the brand more as well, isn't it? Which is a good thing.
Yeah, good things. Dialect, I just said to call in, and I got so excited. I'm having Skype issues. I don't know if I can actually take the call. We're having some issues with Skype, this new update that I'm still trying to get the bugs worked out of. So, and she is calling. Kris, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this and I'm going to call you right back in, okay? And you'll join back in with us. Okay.
Would you like me just to keep on talking to people? If they ask me questions, I can carry this if you want.
Yeah, that would be great. I think I just lost her. Yeah, I just lost her. Hold on. You know what? I think I can add her.
Okay,
now.
Cool.
Give me 1 second.
Here she is. Okay. So it's oh my God, I'm going to have to pronounce it right now. And now I don't know which one it is.
Dilic. It's Dilic.
Oh no, I've broken everything.
Are you there, Dilic?
Someone's there. Dilic. Come on, speak to us.
Okay, I'm going to have to, she's calling in. I'm going to put you on hold and I'll call you right back.
Yeah, no worries.
Dilic, is that you?
Yes.
All right, you made it.
You know what? I didn't mean to interfere. It's just I'm typing and I just thought I should have dialed in, instead of like typing all the time.
No, we're so happy to have you call in. That's great.
No, seriously, you don't really have to put me on the podcast. It's just a joke, It's okay. I don't want to be interfering in all your podcasts.
We love it. Hey, anytime you want to call in, anytime you want to be a guest, I would love that.
Okay. How are you? Well, you know what? I should be in my bed sleeping because I'm going to get up at 6:30. It's 12 already, but you know what? I will just, yeah, go ahead.
If you called in, I guess I gotta say something. At least here in the United States, I'm not seeing much on the Simplex yet. And I think that is brilliant, and it's going to be a huge. I think they all are. Don't get me wrong, but I'm surprised at what little I'm seeing on that detector. I really am. I think it's going to overtake that starter price range over. It should. It looks like it should. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it should. That's what we're hoping for,
Right.
But actually, Simplex did get a lot of attention at Detectable too. Everybody who came to visit our, stand, they all wanted to see the Simplex and the Scuba too. Actually,
Very
the
interesting.
2-in-1, the Scuba,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. So, but yeah, Simplex got a lot of attention. I think just because it's, for its price point, and that it's going to be waterproof. There is really nothing out there at that price point that's fully submersible. I think that's a biggie. So I hope we can release it as soon as possible.
That's great. I'm really looking forward to it. Now, that is a double D on that, correct?
Correct. It's a double D. It's a double D. And by the way, while I'm on this podcast, many people think that it's going to be like a low frequency device because that's what most of the entry-level detectors are at, like 7 kilohertz, 8 kilohertz, whatever. No, we're going to make it like probably 13 or 14. I'm not 100% sure at this point, but it's going to be like it's going to be good for general, purpose detecting. So it's going to be either 13 or 14 kilohertz.
That is wonderful. I'm really excited for all your announcements, and I think, something I didn't get to mention yet, the detector that you want input on, nobody's done that in the past. Most manufacturers don't care enough to know, and I thought that really spoke volumes.
To be honest with you, Mike, one reason is, so people have been asking us to develop a simultaneous multi-frequency detector, right? Mm-hmm. But I read a lot of comments on other models that are out there already, and then some are happy, some are not. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So we're working on one. And our engineers got the simultaneous frequency part under control right now, but as I stated in the detectable presentation, simultaneous frequency, multi-frequency has its advantages and disadvantages sometimes. It really all depends on the conditions and your needs. So you see a lot of people out there using a swinging simultaneous frequency machine, yet they're using the single frequencies on it. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like sometimes they don't even use the simultaneous function due to many reasons.
Yes.
So as we said, we're going to work on one, but let's see what people are really looking for. We came up with this idea that since we're going to say we're working on it, why don't we get their inputs on what they're looking for and what they want to see or what they think is lacking right now on the models that they're using or have tried or whatever. And, and I said, well, while we do this, let them name it too. So we're having this little naming competition as well. Or while I'm on the podcast, I am actually going to get a form up on our website tomorrow for people to fill out. Because let me tell you, since Detectable, I've got literally, I don't know how many emails, how many messages. I see input on forums, Facebook groups, but as you can imagine, it's impossible for us to check every forum, every Facebook group to find these inputs and feedbacks. So we have to channel them through, like a single place. So
right.
I'm putting up this, I'm going to put up this form on our website tomorrow where they can come, fill it out, give their suggestions, and suggest a cool name for this device. And, and once it's all done and released, then whoever comes up with the coolest name will get one free.
That is amazing. Yeah, I'm glad I'm still working on my list because I'm glad I didn't send it to you and overwhelm you a little bit more. But I have some suggestions and a name idea, so I will do it through the form properly.
And please, I don't want people to get ideas that we're gonna implement all of them. Okay?
Right.
I don't want people to get disappointed at the end of the day. Yeah, I sent my suggestion, they didn't do it. We have our limits too,
Right.
We cannot create magic, but we'll try to pick the unique ones. Well, and the ones that we think would be really beneficial for the majority of the users, we will try our best.
Yeah, that is great. That's amazing. And I hope people understand that. They should. You can't. I'm sure if you put every suggestion in there, you would need a car that follows you around to carry all the technology. You know, I mean, they got to understand that you can't do it all. So,
yeah, so yeah, we'll see how it goes. You know, we're not really promising anything. Like we always say, we will just do our best and work on it and try to come up with the best one we can for the customers. But meanwhile, like I said, I mean, we already have, I think, very, very good units selling in the market right now. Our presence in Europe and brand awareness has really increased a lot. And like I said in my previous podcast with you, Mike, now I'm shooting to, increase that brand awareness in the USA, because I think our brand awareness is still not up to the level as we want it to be. So my next target is the USA, okay? Yeah. And I'll do it with the support of you guys and all our valued customers, hopefully.
Yep. Okay. Dialect, we got to wrap it up so I can get Kris back on. We got some more calls. I want to talk to you very soon about doing an episode with you and to discuss Macronocta.
No problem.
Okay.
No problem. Whenever you want. Okay, just shoot me an email.
Thank you so much, Dialect. Dialect, I'm sorry. I messed it up, Dialect. Okay, thank you.
No, it's okay. Don't worry. I'm so used to it. Believe me. When I was living in America, 90% of the people called me Dialect. I'm so used to it. Don't worry. Okay. I love to pick on you. Okay. Yeah. Have a nice day, guys. Bye-bye.
You too. Bye.
Bye.
Bye. If I can end my Skype. Okay, there we go. Let me get him back. I am so sorry. Let me find Kris. Oh. Hold on one second, guys. There we go. Hopefully we can get him back. I am sorry it's getting so late. So... Hey, there you go. Kris, I thought I would be able to pull you back in. My screen just froze and I had no options. I apologize. I am so sorry.
You had pressing matters to attend to, and Delec's like the queen of metal. Yeah, you can't just turn your back on the queen, man.
I want to ask our listeners real quick for input. I see some people are going off to bed, and we are on a long show. Do you guys? A long show? Well, not for me. I'm enjoying every second of it, and you are just absolutely a blast to talk to. But I think I'm wondering, guys, give me your input.
Delec, you owe me. Sorry. Why interrupt? Carry on.
I can do it earlier. Do you guys want me to start doing the show earlier? I could start at 6 p.m., 5 p.m., 6, 7, so guys, give me...
O'clock. What's wrong with you people?
Right. Drink a beer and hang out with us. Calm down, people. Well, I know, we lost a few people. They were saying it was getting really late. And so just, you can email me again, allmetalmode@gmail.com, or on Facebook, All Metal Mode Podcast -UK. I'm always looking for input to make the show better.
What did you and Delec talk about? Was you like, I blooming hate that addicted to bleeps guy?
Yeah, I'm like, really, he's so annoying. He just talks no, we just talked about we only talked about Macronocta, and that was it.
Did you talk about the Amphibio?
No, don't get me wrong, I want an Amphibio. It is so cool looking. I guarantee it'll be a super great machine. But I am really excited about the Simplex. That thing is so cool. I think it'll, if that thing performs half as good as it looks, it should take over the market on your entry-level detectors. I mean, a double D coil wireless capabilities. Have you seen that one?
I want the Amphibio so I can be James Bond.
That thing is cool. Very cool.
Dude, it goes under. It's completely waterproof. It vibrates when you're underwater. That thing is amazing. I want to get in a river and I want to play with the Amphibio.
Dealic is making fun of me now. She said no because Mike kept on asking about the Simplex.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no, it's cool too. Now, something I did do that you'll be really proud of me, and you can make fun of me. I called her dialect.
You fool!
You're
You're the one that
right.
told me how to pronounce it. I'm not entirely sure what's going on now.
Oh, right. I felt like such an idiot. I do it every time, and she just laughs at me and thinks it's great, but I feel horrible.
See, in the writing here, Delek said I can maybe pay you with an amphibio. See, and I can use that in my metal detecting videos. You see how this works, Mike?
That doesn't. I don't think I'm big enough for that to work for me.
I'll get in. If you give me an amphibia, I'll get in that blooming river and I'll find all of that gold.
There you go. There you
I'll
go.
try anyway. At least I'll make a really amusing video where I'll try to get in a river.
Right.
And I'll fall over and hurt myself a little bit.
I would love to do it, but here in Texas, we have every kind of every kind of poisonous snake you can imagine. Wow, that took some getting out.
Good Lord, man! I don't like the sound of that.
I think I need another beer, maybe.
No, not about. I'm talking about the blooming snake having a go at you.
Oh yeah,
bits
yeah.
when you're in the river.
Gypsy Jules gets in a lot. Like I said, she's my new co-host Monday nights, and she just filmed.
Subscribed, didn't I?
She's been chased by a cottonmouth. She's been been into some nasty stuff. So.
Do you know what poisonous stuff we've got in this country?
None.
Nothing.
Nothing.
We actually do. We have adders, spiders. They'll give you like a Chinese burn a little bit, and it's a bit sore for a day. And then we have things called what are these new spiders that have come in because it's getting so hot over here because of the way global warming or something. I don't know. A new spider that can make your thumb swell up a little bit.
Yeah, we have. Well, I'll tell you what, Steph, my fiance, woke up one morning with a red dot around her wrist somewhere, with a red line shooting up her arm. We had to go to the doctor immediately.
Oh, that's bad because that's going into the heart, isn't it?
Yeah, that's all bad. So we had to get her in right away. We've got black widows and
false widow. False widow. Luke's just said false widow. Yeah. Yes, sod all that. You know, like people say to me, I'll come down to Australia to do some metal detecting.
No thanks.
I've actually been offered to be paid to go down there and go metal detecting.
No thanks.
Yeah,
Not enough money.
Every bitey thing on this planet lives in blooming Australia. If you're going to get bitten, it's in Australia.
Right. Have you seen the?
Oh, no way.
Have you seen the video of the spider carrying away a mouse?
Oh, man. That's made me go a bit googly-doogly. My knees have gone a bit funny. I don't like spiders. I'm all right with them, but ones that eat mice, that's not cool, is it? Why would you do that? I quite like mice.
Right. You're right. I'm okay with the mice. That's the scary stuff. Hey, so I want to tell the listeners I wasn't going to go here, even though I very much wanted to. But Kris said it's okay, so I'm going to bring it up, and I'm really looking forward to this. And thank you, Kris, for saying, no, Mike, we can go there. And would you tell me about Battlefield Recovery and that experience? And
I love the way that you waited for me to have a few beers to like.
Oh, did I? I'm sorry.
No,
I'm not trying to loosen you up or get you to say anything you shouldn't. I don't want to get,
No, it's cool. It's fine. Do any of these guys even know about Battlefield Recovery, do you think?
Yeah, because and when you weren't in chat, some people were asking, would you ever do it again? Would you ever be on TV again and stuff? Yeah.
Yeah, Luke. I think Luke knows as well. So for those people that don't know what Battlefield Recovery is, it's a TV show that I was part of, which is on Netflix right now, called Battlefield Recovery. And in that show, the main premise was to repatriate people that were fallen in war, normally on it was actually on the Courland Pocket, where the Germans and the Russians first met each other, and the premise of the show was to get them repatriated to either German graves or either Russian graves, whatever way we were going to get them repatriated, and that's what the premise of the show was about. So, I mean, what do you want to give me? Like a specific. Ask me anything. I'll tell you. It's fine. It's cool.
Okay. What was it like? Man, I'm sitting here with chills. I really am. What was it like to dig up a skeleton, and what was the feeling? What's that like?
It's one that doesn't ever leave you. Because the first lad that we came across was a German lad, and we knew he was a lad because his skull was so small, and he still had hair on his skull as well. And the problem is that, man, I don't know. TV is so. Oh, it's a horrible industry, and producers and these bigwig executives in these channels like National Geographic, they're just in it for money. And you come down and you do a TV show, and then you've got a man's hand in your skull, and all of a sudden everything becomes really, really real, and all that other stuff just falls away. Right. And you are just there with that guy, and it's sobering, but they don't prepare you for it psychologically, and they perhaps should have done. I think, on hindsight, I think that maybe there should have been experts with us to say, like, this is going to be pretty heavy. You think you can handle it. You're like, okay, it's just a skull. It's just a skull. But because it's so recent, we're talking, it's last 100 years. It's so recent that it's still. If you go dig up a Roman warrior, it's like that was 2,000 years ago. So it's kind of different. These guys still have hair and skin sometimes, and brain matter sometimes, and wow. It was difficult, but I got through it because I knew that I was doing a positive thing for that person. Mm-hmm. So that's what kind of like carries you through psychologically. It's like, okay, it's cool. Like, here we go, dude. And you speak to them. It's really weird. You speak to them like they're people, and you chat and you say, look, I'm going to get you reburied properly. I'm going to get you put back, because they're still in hell. Effectively, they're in hell. Right. They're not burial grounds where they were blown up into pieces. They were at the hell where they died. And one World War II soldier said, you've got to get these guys back out of hell, and you've got to get them buried properly. So we talked to them, and that was that was not easy to do. That was difficult to do, but it was easier when you knew that there was a positive outcome. Right. The difficult thing, which has stayed to me to this day, which might have caused some sort of PTSD, I don't know, is civilians and children. And the kind of like no psychological support around that, the fact that we filmed that, and then they stick you in a van, they drive you 5 miles across the country, you don't get to talk to anybody about it, and it's as a father yourself, Mike, kids, man, it's like all bets are off when you're having to pull a child from a mass grave. It's not,
I can't imagine.
Cool, man, not cool. Yeah, that was horrible.
But you were doing good things. I mean, you guys were doing them for the right reasons. Somebody needs to do it, I don't like the show. I can't watch it. I can't recommend it. That's why I don't go on about it. Not many people hear me talk about it because I don't like it. Because I think that it could have been handled better the way that it was delivered. It was delivered in this kind of haphazard, we're going to go on an adventure. And it wasn't like that. And they missed out so much stupidly important stuff that should have been in a show. For example, this land in the Cordon Pocket, the land that we were digging on, was owned by a man called Edgars. I don't know his surname. And Edgars is in his 90s, right? And his story itself was fascinating, Mike. It's Cordon Pocket, Russians, Germans, first day. Where we were filming, it changed hands three times in the day, then fighting each other. Anyway, he was a 7-year-old child on that, literally in the Cordon Pocket. 7-year-old child, house gets blown up, kills all his family apart from his mum and an uncle or something, because it's all extended family. They used to live together. So they survive, and then the Nazis come in, and the Nazis and the German soldiers can't mix those two up. I've got my reasons for that as well. Come in and
shoot their horse, which is regarded as a family member, and then he gets moved to Riga in Latvia, and then the Nazis they drive a tank through, killing all of his rest of his family. So his grandparents are all dead now, and it's just him and his mum, completely homeless. And this man's story is so potent. And this is the thing. He's like, I want all of these guys off my land. I want them to be buried properly, right? You know. But the thing is about him, it kind of goes back to the spiritual, esoterical thing again. I shook his hand, and I swear to God, I looked him in the eye. I like to look people in the eye because you can judge. You can get a good sound judgment of people if you just look him in the eye for a little bit. And I looked him in the eye, and I swear, man, I nearly fell apart. It was the weirdest thing. Really? I'm getting goosebumps now thinking about looking at him, because he was the loveliest soul I've ever met. He was such a nice man. He was so welcoming. He shared his food. He was so lovely and would hug you. And this guy has been through hell. You know, these soldiers were stacked up buildings high. You know, they had to get kids drunk to go and clean it up. This guy's been through hell, and he was lovely. Not once did they put him in the film. Not once did they put him in Battlefield Recovery.
I want to say something, and I hope people get why I'm saying this, and I hope this doesn't sound hokey, but you know, I think we all have moments in our life that are tough, and we're down, and we go through our struggles. And you know, I love history, and something that keeps me going is stories like that. There are people who have lived through literally hell and survived and came out of it okay.
That's beautiful people. Yeah, exactly, man.
Yeah. So I've got a story where I'm a little bit concerned, not in how long we're going. I have a bad storm rolling through. So I'm going to say right now, if we lose the show, I've got a storm calling it. Yeah.
Can I quickly, this is important. This is really important. I need to answer this question. It's from Andy Sampson.
Yes.
And it's, Chris, do you feel that detecting could help people suffering from PTSD, depression? I found it's helped me. I'm actually working on a video at the moment, which is more than a video. It's a small documentary type thing, where I've gone into the science of why I think that metal detecting helps people with depression and especially PTSD and especially anxiety. And the last couple of months, I've been studying books, and I've gone into it in lots and lots of depth. And I have 6 core reasons as to why I believe that it's very, very, very good for PTSD, depression and anxiety. And it's a very specific hobby, and it only happens in this hobby. So to answer his question, Andy, yes, I do. And I've got a video coming out soon. I don't know when it's going to be. I kind of need to go at it objectively rather than subjectively. So I've still got a lot more research to do, but it's nearly done. Sorry, Mike. Carry on, buddy.
I'm going to tell you right now, or I'm going to ask, and I'll beg if I have to. You're going to have to come back and do another show. I have enjoyed this immensely. Luke put me in touch with you and Andy. Andy, the same thing. Andy Sampson, I want to get you back on the show. It's been such a great start. I'm really excited, and
I've really enjoyed this.
Really happy. Good. I'm glad you've enjoyed it. That's really important to me, you know, and everybody has fun and enjoys it. So
apart from the bit where you mugged me off for DLEC.
Right. Sorry. So yeah, that was not cool. Well, I thought I wouldn't have done it if I didn't know I couldn't pull you back in.
I'm only joking, man. I'm only joking. Go on, carry on. Go on before your storm rolls in.
Yeah, I've never talked extensively about this, but Kimmy, I always call her Kimmy for some reason. Dubé, she had a stroke.
She just said.
Yeah. That's. I think it can help. I've got a friend in Ohio that's had 3. He's had 3 strokes, and the second one they had to cut off his skull, and it stayed in his stomach for months. He had to relearn to walk and talk, and he's metal detecting. Matter of fact, I wrote an article that was published in, I believe, Lost Treasure, and it's titled "How Metal Detecting Saved a Life."
Mm.
And
Oh, that is amazing.
He will still, from time to time, he'll take a picture holding that article up that I wrote. And
hey, maybe I can get that into the video and give him some acknowledgement for that as well. That's interesting, actually. Is he still okay? Is he still with us?
He's still with us and going strong. He just joined XP Deus Team USA, and he's just, man, that guy gets out every chance he can and living life and having fun. And he's actually really young for a stroke. He lost a son in front of his house, and I really think that's what did it. Led to the stroke and stuff. So, but man, he's such a humble, happy, just loves it, loves metal detecting. And I'm fortunate to be part of his life. When I met him, he didn't know anything about field hunting or relic hunting. And matter of fact, he was brand new to the hobby. He'd done it when he was a young boy, and he still thanks me all the time for showing him how to field hunt and relic. Yeah, he's a great guy. So, yeah,
that's nice. That's really nice. Got to do what we can. Got to help people. You know,
that's why I do this.
Blooming hard, this life.
Right.
Got to help each other, man. Come on.
Now, doing what you were doing on the show, how did that change you? I'm sure there had to be some. It had to have at least led to some deeper thoughts, questions.
So everything after the show changed me massively, horribly, because of what the controversy, the lies that come after it. But the actual show itself, it changed me. How do I word this? It made me more liberal. In not in a kind of like kooky way or anything like that, but it made me understand the dangers of war. It made me understand the dangers of war even more, and it made me understand the dangers of fanatical people and propaganda, and how all of a sudden you've got 100 million dead people around you, and you've just got so many broken, horrible stories from, just how dangerous things can be when they get out of hand. It did that to me. Number one, it made me more caring, almost, just to see both sides of the story and understand, trying to understand people's situation a little bit more. It certainly did that as well. And it just also just the fragility of life as well. And just these guys were they're teenagers, they were young men, and you're thinking, wow, I'm a 42-year-old man, and I've lived a life.
Right.
Millions of them just didn't get the opportunity, and I think it's important that I think fundamentally the conclusion that I come to is that it's really important that we don't do that again as the human race. Does that make sense?
But it's been going on since the beginning of time, and I question it myself, and I don't think, I hope and pray it never leads to that again.
I think we should have learned. I think we should have learned by now.
Right. Well, right.
We should have learned. We should have come to some sort of conclusions about how things work, and these things just don't work. Anyway, come on, we're going down a big rabbit hole here.
Well, let me say this. Something that disappoints me often is, especially when you talk to young people in here in the U.S., is they look as World War II as like, oh, that was so long ago, it can't happen again.
Yeah.
They had modern machinery, cars. No, it was modern times, and your grandparents, at the very least, lived through it. Don't think it can't happen again. And it just, I hate how so many people just look at it as like, it can never happen again. That was so long ago. That was in the modern times.
I mean, when I was young, they called it the old man's war. Because even from when I was younger, it was like, oh, it's your granddad's war. Oh, yeah, okay. You're going, your granddad's talking about the war and you're 9 years old. You don't really care. You want to go play with your Transformers and your He-Man. But as soon as you get a little bit older and you realise, man, I should have listened to him. He had some really important things he was telling me, but you didn't realise it because you were young. And I think that's the thing with youth a little bit, isn't it? They miss it a little bit. They'll get it though. They'll get it.
And I'm not. Well, I was just getting ready to say I don't judge because I remember being young and invincible, and you don't think about that kind of stuff. And we're the same age. I'm 42.
Wow!
I just had a son. I've got a 7-month-old son, and
man, you're brave.
Yeah. No. Well, luckily Steph is 32. She can keep.
That's the same with me and my partner. How weird
Really?
is that?
That is weird. Yeah.
How weird is that?
That is strange.
That's crazy. Yeah. Exactly the same ages.
That is crazy. Yeah. Wow. Whoa. Luckily, I don't have red hair. Then I'd start to get freaked out.
Yeah, that's it. And living in Britain.
Yeah. Right. But yeah, I just I don't know. I part of the reason I wasn't sure if I wanted to even bring this up is because, when I dig something up that's not even of any significance, that's 100, 200, 300 years old, I get feelings from. I'm not saying, ghost or anything like that. You just, wow, I'm holding this, and they will, this is when Ohio was a frontier. This is when they still had to worry about getting scalped by Indians. In the hardships.
You were the first person to pick that up from the day that they lost it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think it goes back to what I said before. There's an element of respect, isn't there? There's an element of respect in that instance because you're the first person that picked it up. There's no history that went in between. It's them and it's you. It's quite a simple relationship.
Right.
Just, and that's quite potent and powerful. So I completely understand what you're saying there.
Mm-hmm. That's hard enough. And then to talk about, not hard, sometimes, honestly, sometimes I can almost get a little bit of anxiety in metal. I love it. And it is my way to calm down. But sometimes I let my, you find something, you look at it and go, wow, that's cool. You put it in your pocket and you're back detecting, and your mind starts wandering to who lost that and how did they lose that? And,
what was their story?
Yeah. And I wouldn't say anxiety. I almost get a little bit of, I wouldn't say depression either. I don't just, I don't know how to explain it, but it definitely, it calms me down in a way. And but what I'm getting at, that can be emotional. It makes me a little bit emotional. That's a good word. And then to think about what you were doing on that show, just I can't imagine. I really can't.
I'm a man enough to admit that I've cried many tears over the experiences. It's powerful and it's potent and. And then the negativity that came after it, etc., which made it even worse. But the fundamental core of what we achieved on that TV show, I'm very, very proud of. And anybody can go watch it on Netflix. It's man, Mike, there's these guys, they do this. We were basically telling their story. They've been doing it for decades. Right. And they're groups of men and women, and they go around. They're volunteers. They don't get paid, and they go around. They do this in their own spare time, and they get these people out and they repatriate them. And it's like, wow, man! You guys are amazing with what you do. It's brilliant.
That brings up something we were talking about kids. I mean, you think that was so long ago. There are still people trying to find their loved ones from that war, that tragedy, and trying to bring soldiers home. So don't look at it as being that far off, and learn from it.
It goes back to, I think we had this discussion before we actually started the podcast, but we actually found a guy with a dog tag, and we weren't able, not physically, because a lot of time had to go by before you could do it. So on their dog tags, you can actually look them up on the database for when they were lost. And that boy's bones, when he was blown up in 1940, and killed, like, his bones were returned to his sister in 2016 with the dog tag. And she was able to give him a proper burial, a proper goodbye, other than he died at war. There's a vague memorial for him somewhere. We have his bones, we have his corpse, and we can bury him with respect. That is so powerful that these guys, and we did it as well, but these guys are doing that all the time. They're hunting for these people. Yeah. And that's like, man, and they're not getting paid for it, Mike. They're doing it like it's what a kind of service to humankind to do something like that. It's lovely. Right. They're my heroes. Those guys out there in Latvia are my heroes. They're brilliant. Again, another untold part of the show which should have been told. Right.
I want to step away from that real quick. I mean, still, I'm not sure who asked it. It was quite a while ago, and we just got talking too much. Have you gotten right with the archaeologists now that we're so upset?
No.
No.
No, unfortunately not, no. Okay. They lied, man. And they're in their hundreds, and they pushed this idea that it was a show about this, that, and the other. And then when it was proven, they were proven wrong, because their whole focus was to get it pulled, so nobody could see it. Right, that was the thing. If nobody could see it, then they could make up a lie about it, which is it was about grave robbing or whatever it was. Right. But when it actually went on, Channel 5 over in this country and Netflix took a chance and put it on, and then it was proven that we didn't do anything wrong. It was actually a show about getting people repatriated. They didn't apologise, man. They just disappeared off into the background. And honestly, some of the stuff that they said in the Daily Mail and the New York Times, it was the lies were so out there. It's like absolutely crazy, the stuff that they were making up. And the thing is people are kind of easily led by broadsheet newspapers and things,
Right.
And people believed it. That's where the death threats come from, see? And
scary.
They never apologised for that. But I just need to clear this up. It's not it's not your on the ground archaeologists. It's not your mid archaeologists. It's the top guys. It's the guys that are running the show. To be honest with you, all the other ones, if I was to go to an archaeology dig now and explain what happened, like I've spoken to archaeologists since, they're like, I don't understand what the problem is. That was a really nice, kind thing to do. It was this kind of elitist group at the top, which kind of like run. They don't want metal detectorists. The last thing they want is they do not want us finding or adding to history, because that's their job. And we're not educated enough to deal with it. This is these top high-ranking archaeologists. I'm not talking about all archaeologists here.
Right. And I'm sure if any archaeologists from the U.S. got involved, it was horrible. They hate us. They do. For the majority, there are some. It is a whole different scene here.
Yeah, man.
They do not work with us at all. They don't. We're robbers in their eyes.
Yeah, that exactly. It's the same with us. But like we have the thing called the PAS over here, which is the Portable Antiquities Scheme, which is a part of the British Museum, and that was created for archaeologists to communicate with. It's not actually metal detectorists; it's the general public, right? So we have things called finds liaisons officers, which are archaeologists who we can talk to about archaeology and metal detecting, and they will tell us what our finds are, and they will help us. And they're brilliant communicators, and they're lovely people. My last one, Jennifer, was amazing, and she would help me, and she would say, right, you found this in this area, then look in this area and don't stop looking there. And I felt like she appreciated me, and it was lovely and it was nice. But you go higher and you hit problems. There's a lot of really nasty elitist archaeologists out there that just, oh man, I don't want to get into too much depth. Can I tell you a story? Can I tell you a quick story, Mike?
I would love that.
This will sum it up. When I was 14 years old, we did a youth enterprise award at my school. Right.
Okay.
And what that is we were to start up a thing called a tuck shop. I don't know what you call them in America. It's like basically in school you go buy sweets at lunchtime. Yeah, and like there's some guys and they set up a little shop at school, and you can buy sweets off them. I don't know what it's called. And we did this at the same time with a private college. Okay, so we were doing ours. We were in a state school. Just a bog standard state school, and we were doing it at the same time alongside a private school. Now the private school guys, they're sons and daughters of billionaires, right? So private schools, they get the best education. We're a comprehensive just state school, but we were doing it together. So they would run theirs and we'd run ours, and then we'd put the money together and buy stock from it. Anyway, so we have a really good week. Our first week is amazing. We sell all this stuff. We're so excited. We have our meeting with the posh guys at the private school, and they say our money was stolen. And we're like, oh, okay, no worries. So, look, guys, you can have some of our money instead. Look, you take some of our money. You can go buy some more stock with that. We shared our money with them, right? And they're like, okay, cool. Anyway, next week, we work really, really hard. We go back and we say, how much stock have you sold? It was all stolen and all of the money was stolen. We're like, what, again?
Right.
And they're like, yeah, again. These are really, really posh people. And we're like, oh, man. Anyway, there's obviously teachers which are looking over this whole thing. And they're like, well, what's going on with the stock? Why is it disappearing? They're like, oh, it just keeps on getting stolen. Can you make sure it doesn't happen next week? Yep, no worries. Third week, we go back. All of our stock was stolen. We're working really hard, right? Mm-hmm. Okay. All of our stock was stolen. It's all gone. All of the money's gone. And then we say, guys, something weird is going on here. And they say, how dare you speak to us like that? We are the sons and daughters of billionaires. We are the educated. Who are you? You come from a state school. You come from a comprehensive school. We'll do what we want. Right, was their attitude. And that elitist attitude is the same, it just tastes exactly the same as the archaeology in those really high places. How dare us metal detectorists, how dare us uneducated fools, how dare us go in there and find objects, whereas they're the educated ones who should be finding these objects. And if you look at the PAS, I think it's something like 98% of it is fines in Britain is made by metal detectorists, and they hate that because they've studied for degrees and all of this and spent this much money, and we go in there with our metal detectors and we find 98% of it, and they hate it. They hate it. It's so funny.
They want big funding and everything else to do it, and us detectorists will go throw on our clothes, go out there and pound fields and look, and they hate us for us having such a passion for it.
Exactly, I think so. I think that pretty much sums it up. I think you've hit the nail on the head there. It is that, but it is this. I mean, again, I've got to keep on getting this point across. The lower archaeologists and middle archaeologists, they work with us really, really well, and they're really important. But the high ones that have degrees and are, massively, they're not in the field. These guys don't do archaeology. They just sit behind their computers writing essays about it and how amazing. Those dangerous people, man. Dangerous people.
I agree.
Sorry, one last thing. They are pushing to ban metal detecting in this country.
Are they really?
They've pushed it to Parliament, right? And they are pushing people like Dr. Sam Hardy, Dr. Donna Yates, all of these high-ranking archaeologists are right now pushing to Parliament to get it banned. Same thing happened in 1992. Really quite scary times that we live in, because it's banned in a lot of Europe, and it's banned in Southern Ireland, and there's a possibility that this could happen. They've been working on this for years, and it's worrying times actually for British metal detecting, mate.
That's really disappointing. I didn't know that. I had no clue, and You know, do you guys have? I don't know if you do, but if you have an organization that fights that kind of thing, join it.
The thing is that we do, but they're doing it so behind the scenes. Dr. Sam Hardy just puts these massive studies together of how metal detecting is destroying the archaeological record. He's so thorough about it, but you don't hear anything about it. The only reason that I know that this is going on is because I did battlefield recovery. So therefore, people who I was involved with, the curators of museums, etc., still talk to me about what's happening in the world of metal detecting. So I'm pretty much the only person that knows, but all these guys that are listening now, that they're pushing this towards Parliament. It's scary times. It's very, very scary times. And there's not much you can do about it because you don't know how they're hitting it. You don't know their strategic angle. You don't know how they're going about it. But
they're going at it sneaky. And,
very much so.
yes.
Absolutely, yeah. And and that comes back to the whole elitist. But they're not going to communicate with us, are they? Why would they? We're peasants.
Yeah, that's a shame. Luckily here, I mean, we do have issues in different states and things come up, but overall, you know, it's pretty good. But the archaeologists hate us. They do not want to work with us. They don't want our help. And it's quite sad. There are so many people like me who could care less about possessing the find. To me, it's about finding it and helping and being part of history and recovering it. And it's sad. It's
so sad. If you there's a guy called Paul Barford. You can look if you type in Paul Barford into Google now, and his attack on metal detectors is nothing more than malicious, and it's horrible. Go type my name into his blog, and you'll see what he's done to me. But people like him, they have this overgeneralization that all metal detectorists are thick. We're stupid and we're thick, and that's it. You can't communicate with him even eloquently, even with intelligence, because he'll just say you're thick, and it's just this horrible elitist. They're so. If they were to open their, there's such possibility with what we do and archaeology. If you were to twin those two things together and they both worked in perfect harmony, we could achieve so much together. It would be, and it would happen so quickly, and it would be so brilliant for everybody's history and heritage. But we're dealing with humans,
elitists that think they're better, we really need to wrap it up soon. I'll be honest with you. The only reason we're actually getting, and this is the first time we're getting towards the end of my recording. I mean, I've got 3 hours, and I don't, Kris, I don't want to end it. We could do this for hours.
We've already just started.
I just keep looking. It's like, okay, there's another question I got to let go. There's another one because, it's like we're running out of time, but I definitely have to have you back.
No worries.
Sure.
Look, if you're like listeners want me back and you want me back, I'll come back. Absolutely.
Oh, I think you can look at chat
not next Thursday though, because I'm doing a music video for my band.
Oh, very cool. Your band?
Yeah, my band. Yeah.
Wow, that's really cool.
From Surftown. But let's sort something out for the near future. I've really enjoyed this.
Good. I'm glad you enjoyed it.
Sat here and yacked and drunk beer. Brilliant.
Oh, nice. Good times there. Yeah. Very good times. Okay, let's go ahead and wrap it up just because we're getting so close to, I'm going to have to look into adding what the next step is to have more time, because I don't want to have to do this again. I want to be able to record as long as I want, and I am not ready to end this.
Yeah, but, it doesn't feel like it's ready to end, does it? But yeah, let's sort it out. Contact me, and I'm totally up for it.
Okay.
And thank you for Luke for putting me in contact with you as well.
Yeah, thank you so much, Kris. It's been an honor having you. It really has, and you will hear from me today or tomorrow to start talking about when we can do it again.
I'm looking forward to it, Mike. It's been brilliant. Thank you, mate.
All right, thank you, sir. Thanks for coming on. We appreciate it.
No worries. Later.
Thank you. Bye. Well, there you have it. Wow, was that just amazing? I had a great time. I hope you guys did. Again, check out if you have input, if you want me to adjust the start time and stuff, any input, you guests, ideas, you want to be a guest, please check out All Metal Mode Podcast UK on Facebook, or please email me at allmetalmode@gmail.com. Thank you all for tuning in. I had a great time. Thank you.